Hello. How are we doing today? Hello. Oh, wow. We're just gonna get straight into it. I don't know if we're having Zelda today. I'm pretty sure we are. But I hope everyone's having a wonderful Monday so far. Let me just... Whoop. Whoop. There we go. Alrighty. Finish chewing this pepperoni stick. Alright. Hi, Reaper of Summers. How you doing? I woke up pretty late, so that's why I'm kind of sounding a little funny. But I did say hydrate? Okay, one sec. There's nothing in my cup right now. Okay, we already did side stories. Okay, last I remember, the main plot... Seems like we're getting into some shit. Last stream, we met these two boyos. Hannah and... I can't remember his name right now. Off the top of my head. It was like, 2-on. We learned that they're precious babes, and I love them. And then we read this side story. It was pretty okay. But I think now we're gonna get back into the main story. Before I do that, though, what did I just get on my phone? Okay. Continuar. This is also a good stream to try out. Like, I got a new keyboard, and the keyboard has some, like, some G keys, which are, like, kind of like Stream Deck stuff. It's not I haven't used them for anything too flashy, mind you. It's more so just, like, for, easier transitioning and things like that. There we go. Alrighty, let's continue. Day 2 at the terminal, 10 p.m. Hello? Ah, what was that? I said, can I get 2 lattes? Yeah, sure thing. You want these takeaway or not? For here, please. Take a seat, I'll bring it over. Ah, crap. You right, mate? Yeah, all good. I should really get Ashley to do this. Sorry, what? Nothing, just talking to myself. Alright. Yeah. Where's the broom? Ashley, where's the broom? Ashley? I need a hand. Come help me. Groan. Come on, I've got to find a broom. Ah! Groan. Atta girl. Hey, are any of your friends around?
Probably.
Well, when did you teach them to do that?
I didn't. That one's just weird.
Uh-huh. How are you doing, kiddo?
Sleep deprivation's kicking in.
Sometimes I feel like nobody ever sleeps in this cafe.
Except Keyshawn.
Heh, he has slept a lot while he's been here, hasn't he?
It's because you keep getting him drunk.
What? I haven't done that once.
Not you. I mean, you!
So not me at all, but Maddie and Ned. Gotcha. Those brigands.
You're telling me.
How's Maddie doing?
Well...
Yeah. How close are we to being done?
fairly close. I'm not super worried about getting it done without Ashley either.
Rad.
Anyway, what were you saying?
Oh, just that I think I understand everything now.
And?
That's all.
Well, I appreciate your restraint and not generously supplying me with your moral take on it.
No worries, don't want to be that guy.
Dang, I'm actually gonna miss you once you're gone.
Well, these are some honest feelings. I can't read. Doth thy icy facade crack? Does Maddie seem like the kind of person who hides behind a mask?
The correct word there is dost, and please, don't make me take it back.
Haha, I guess you really got into the whole boatman of the River Styx thing, huh? If you ever find yourself on the River Styx, be sure to give the boatman or the barista a friendly wave. Yeah?
Is that what you think I am?
Kind of, yeah.
Interesting.
Do you not feel that way? I don't know if the metaphor is that accurate, but...
I can see why you draw parallels, but this place serves more as... an entrance? You don't have to come here on your way to the next place, but it's on the route, for sure.
Just a stopping point on the highway to hell.
I'm sorry, we don't allow AC/DC references in here anymore.
Maddie wouldn't admit it to anyone, but she wouldn't spend an entire day listening to Back in Black and on repeat.
Well, I tried. We're less on a highway and more just an embouchure to the Empyrean.
I think that's a word.
If you want to get real fancy with the wording, that is.
An entrance to heaven?
Very roughly speaking, yeah. But hell, I haven't seen the other side, so I can't even say that for sure. I'm fairly certain there's something there, though, which, I don't know. I can take comfort in that, I guess.
I can take comfort in that, I guess.
Oh, and speaking of comfort, how are you feeling?
Well, every particle in my body is slowly moving away from every other particle in my body.
That was rather eloquent.
Expressing your feelings eloquently doesn't make them more valid, but it can make them easier for other people to understand. What use is feeling pain if you can't find a fun way to describe it? An hour later.
My head fucking hurt! Oh, my head freaking hurts. It sucks! And stuff!
I keep telling you the painkillers will take effect in a few minutes.
I'm not gonna stop yelling about it until they do!
You know, some philosophers believe that experiencing pain is one of the best ways to make sure you know you're alive. Shay's met some of these guys, he swears it. He's just had too much time to forget their names.
That sounds fake. Which philosophers?
Famous ones?
Oh my gosh, you're actually just making it up.
Possibly.
You could have said it better. Some of them... Say that some famous singer said it instead. Cross that generational gap. You gotta appeal to the kids. I feel like every time
I feel like every time I do that, I just end up looking like one of those old guys who's afraid of wide-ranging societal shifts. Shay spent so much time being an old guy, he's almost begun doubting whether he was ever really young.
I mean, you are old.
I'm not.
You're like 6,000 years old. You gotta give me this one.
Fine. How's your head feeling?
It still sucks.
How about we grab a drink and go sit outside? It's nice and cool out there.
Do I have to?
Yep. It seems like a risky area to be. Also, where is this? How are you feeling now?
Better, marginally.
Things existing at the margin still deserve attention. Come on, I'm sure the drink isn't hurting.
What even is this?
I put 6 sugars in it?
Ah, you know me so well.
So how are things at home?
Meh.
What's that translate to in old people language?
Things are normal, I guess. Mom's nearly done with her PhD.
That sounds good.
It is probably. But she's pretty busy, so that means we're stuck eating microwave dinners at night.
Ashley's parents have forbidden her from tinkering with the microwave after the magnetron incident. Explains why you barely left this place since last week.
I mean, I'd be here anyway.
True. You did ask her, right?
What, if I could be here?
Yeah, don't invoke her wrath, do I?
She doesn't worry about me being here. You remember when she talked to Maddie about liquor licensing laws?
Don't you love it when the government offers to sell your rights back to you after you've confiscated them? After they've confiscated them. I think it was more of a lecture than a conversation. After all, Maddie wasn't doing anything wrong aside from letting you hang around after hours. I'm still amazed that Maddie didn't just tell her that we're not technically subject to the regulations since we're not registered with anyone but the council.
She made the right choice. That would have been an ugly argument. But anyway, she's fine with me being here. She's got my mobile number, and as long as I respond to her check-ins, she's not gonna come and get me.
Good. I wouldn't want to worry her. Ah, wonderful.
Ugh. My arm will get wet.
Oh, don't worry about it. We can dry it off inside. Just try and enjoy the rain.
Okay.
I was joking about fake philosophy earlier, but I really do think it is important to take a moment to enjoy things when you can. Rain can feel oppressive. It can stop you from going outside, doing the things you enjoy. But there's nothing like the smell of rain before sunrise.
Prettiture?
Yeah. Yeah, it's faintly magical. Did I ever tell you that?
Only about 100 times. I can hear it 101 times. It's okay.
Alright, I'm actually getting kind of wet. Let's head in. Hi, Minnie Dewey! And hi, Maverick. So given the fact that I'm very obviously a dork with a bleeding heart, it's definitely safe to assume that I've let other people other than you stay longer than they're technically allowed. You're so emotionally repressed that I've never could have guessed it's actually impressive. Well, you know, we all have our ways of coping with persistent extreme stress. Millennial things. Why don't all these poor kids just buy more money?
Yeah. But yes, I do understand how you feel. The separation, the difficulty keeping your thoughts together, the base level feeling that something's slightly askew, and the fact, not the feeling, that your time is up. Never loved facts. Me neither. Honestly, I think it feels like having a cold. Without any of the physical symptoms. I guess that description works too. It's not quite as compelling as the one about your particles being repulsive, though. Oh wait, that's definitely not what I meant by that one. Isn't it? It's about time. I can't believe I created these beautiful creatures and you turned them into dumb waiters.
Alas, such is life. They gotta pay rent somehow, considering how many cups they drop.
That's a feature, not a bug. It's to make them seem more alive.
You've taught them to intentionally drop cups on in the name of verisimilitude?
Maybe.
Oh, wait. You'd hate for your little mechanical critters to be too good at their job. It would totally kill the vibe. I'm gonna get Maddie to start ordering cheaper cups.
See, I'm promoting efficiency in our procurement cycles.
I hate whenever you give me that. I hate whoever gave you that management book.
I'm sensing some hostility. Do I need to talk to HR?
Who's our human resources manager? I'm sure it's very good at its job, just not at busting coffee.
Oh, Maddie wants us downstairs. Oh, I suppose she's done setting up. I'm glad she was able to do it without me. Gosh, so proud. Taught her everything I know.
You're a gremlin, you know that? Gremlins are often blamed for mechanical problems, so in Ashley's case, the description fits perfectly.
Of course. Shall we?
Is that the end of the episode already? Oh, no. Okay. Day 3, 12 a.m., basement. Okay, and this is where the game started. Cough. Cough, cough. It's too bloody damp down here. I know we're underground, but I don't suppose there are any windows we could open. There's a ventilation duct in here somewhere. Maddie, mind opening it up? Get some fresh air circulating. Other end's blocked right now. There's a dumpster sitting on top of it. You'll have to grin and bear it. Can we hurry this up? We've done this before, old man. Some people think Shay's wise beyond his years. The truth is that he just doesn't look his age. You know it takes a while to set up. I don't appreciate your tone. Sorry. At the very least, can we turn some lights on? With all the crap you've got scattered around the place. Maddie has more important things to do than declutter the cafe. I'd like to at least know where I'm putting my feet. Ashley, would you mind? Alrighty, and this is where the game started. So I am going to be right back. Just gotta use the potty really quick. And then we're gonna see what the hell really happened before the game started. One moment. I'm gonna press a button. Alrighty, we're back. Sorry, it took a little bit longer than I would have liked. Alrighty, things are getting tense. Thanks. You're more organized than last time, I see. Practice makes perfect. Keeping a place organized is easy. You just have to clean a little bit every single day. Just.
Hey, Maddie. How much more wire do we need?
I think that's enough. Great. Now.
Shay?
What's up, Little P? Some people use diminutive nicknames to create emotional distance. Shay uses them to close that distance.
I found you a chair.
Ah, thank you. I'm actually wondering, this is very, very similar to the opening scene, but I wonder if it's actually, like, attempt number 2 on what they were doing before, whatever they were doing. We don't know what Maddie was up to. So, this whole thing, surely it's not legal, yeah? Yes, the council found it confronting. For good reason, I suppose. Because it utterly upsets the natural order. Mate, it's not just bureaucracy. Sometimes the powers that be are willing to turn a blind eye, but patience and leniency are both in limited supply these days. Shush you. Most rules can be bent after all. Sigh. The fact, and Maddie has a particular fascination with breaking rules. Maddie says the only reason she learned the rules is so that she would know when to break them. She's only half joking.
Hey, don't give her all the credit.
Bah. Is this related to her gambling for time? Mm-hmm. So, the transfer was the same sort of magic we're doing now, yes. The council successfully suppressed all available information about it, though. Suppressing information doesn't make it go away. It just hides it from the eyes of people who lack the curiosity and persistence to uncover it. 1 second. Okay. Jester is having car problems. Hopefully it's something that is fixable and not too expansive. Din Din! Hi, Din Din! Hold on, I just noticed I got a bunch of messages on Discord. Oh god. For good reason. What if something goes wrong? Ah! Oh, my mouse is affecting. Okay, I'm gonna have to check this out on my phone. 1 second. Oh my goodness. When I want to multitask, but this game literally doesn't let me. Well, you don't tend to mess it up more than once. Or try it again after you fail, for that matter. The thing with the sploot, the little sploot on the meow. It's so cute so far. I love it. Oh, it's looking so good. Hi, Space Pegasus. What do you even call this sort of magic then? Question's irrelevant because it's banned. Strictly verboten, off limits, and likely to be met with a harsh penalty.
Extremely cool. That's what I call it.
Well, by definition, it's a conduit ritual. Rituals are boring. It's the consequences that you have to worry about. But hey, we're among friends, so we can call it what it really is. Necromancy. All those hours are in this tree. Why did you hoard the hours here instead of using them to pay off your debt? Why would I use them to pay off a debt if I could use them to save a life instead? Oh, shit. Alright. How can I help? Will the subject please step forward? Council Gazette. We regret to inform you of the passing of Shay Wu, a beloved fixture in the Australian alchemical community and owner of the terminal. As an innovator in alchemy and materials spellcraft. Oh, the goose. Where was I? And as a friend to anyone and everyone who walked through his doors, he will be missed. The best compliment a man like Shay could ask for. Ready to do this again? Sure. Try not to kill me this time. Cool. Ashley, let's do this.
Ready when you are!
I hate this. You have reservations? It's unnatural to store hours in a non-sentient being like that. It can still feel pain, and this is a very painful process. For everyone involved.
Yeah?
Yeah. Guess it's time for us to watch the show. Let's see how badly this can go wrong. Yay. Calcination, solution, separation, conjunction, putrefaction, congelation. The words are so pressed together. Sebation, sublimation, fermentation, exaltation, multiplication, projection. Conjunction. Good enough. Ashley?
Everything's nominal on my end.
We're looking good, so let's get this started. Increase power to 80%. Sebation. Other words that end in ation. Procrastination, masturbation, precipitation, sublimation, pontification. Congratulations. I can think of a couple words. I know word too. Vacation.
Holding steady.
Cool. Next segment.
Activating.
How are we doing?
It's going fine. Conjunction's about halfway open. Just concentrate.
Having some issues here. Hey, we need more power.
Yep, ramping it up. I don't know if this will meet our conduits, though. Oh, crap. Yep, our conduits are definitely melting.
Ashley, language. Fuck! Bypass it!
I can patch the wires, but I don't know what else I can...
Do that, now!
On it!
How close are we to finishing this I wish I knew how to say this word. The sebation?
We're about 90%.
Shit! Shit!
Are we gonna try again? I think I have to reinforce the wires and that'll fix it.
Yes. We're going to keep going until we make it through. Do or die. Reset, then, and start again. Calcination, separation, conjunction, libation. Not again.
Just a couple seconds more. And... we've got it! Yes! Beginning sublimation.
Sublimation? You've got this, Maddie. What's next? We've opened the connection. Now all I've got to do is transfer the time. How are you feeling, Shay? I don't know.
Shay?
Sublimation. No!
Okay, we won't stop!
We've gotten this far. I'm not giving up now, damn it!
Maddie?
I can't hold on to it. It's slipping out of my fingers.
Energy levels are dropping again!
See if you can keep it for just a few more moments.
Rerouting! We could try it again.
I don't plan on stopping.
I think the conduit's only gonna last one more go, then it's kaput. Maybe you're kaput too. I don't know.
Shit. All right, Ashley. Take your position again. We'll get it this time. Stop. Just stop. No, I've nearly got it, I swear. You're not going to bring me back. No. I've humored this enough. You've done your best, but this task is beyond you. I need to move on, and it's time to make your peace with this instead of trying to prevent the natural course of things. You never asked me if I wanted to stay. You just made the choice for me and hurt yourself and everyone around you in the process. Let me leave. Okay, do we know why she wants to keep him so badly? Maybe these guys will explain.
Jacoby, you're a goddamn bin chicken is what you are. What? No way. Crabs don't eat sushi or garbage. You don't know that? Yeah, well, you know what does eat sushi and garbage? Trescuorus maluka, otherwise known as the Australian bin chicken. We find that term offensive. We're actually white ibises. Haha! Ha. Incriminated yourself there. I thought it was a raccoon. I'd expect nothing less from a bin chicken. Damn it. Okay, so, moving on. Classic misdirection. No, seriously, did you two see what happened back there? Yeah, that was rough. And yes, that thing with the ritual was also tough to watch. You weren't here when Shay died, but I remember, they just behaved like nothing had happened. Oh? My impression was that neither of them had ever remotely considered the possibility of failure. Idiots. Yes, but we're only here because of them, so we should be respectful. It seems to me like nobody in this cafe really seems to think things through. Yep. This place has a weird effect on people. Too much magic in the air, maybe. Who knows? Will they be okay? I don't know how I'd forgive something like that. Being kept here against my will while my very essence breaks down. That is what I believe kids these days call a party foul. Honestly, I don't know. I think Maddie probably has some self-reflection to do. All hail the bin chicken. I have no idea what's going on, but I'm enjoying it. Necrobarista's been a treat. It's been a pretty good story. The main story is okay. They give you a lot of little side stories, little side readings, which we're going to be getting into. Pair of saps, aren't we? In between the chapters, they have this thing where you can
go around, wander around the environments that you've seen, the new environment, and read little snippet stories. And I find that these little snippet stories build onto the characters more than the main story does. Oh my god. Well, I've only mentioned a little bit about Hannah and Tuan, and they are amazing. They have their own side story. It's a pretty long chapter, and it's amazing, and I love them. They are the best characters in this game, hands down. Even if they appear in the main story for all of like 2 minutes, and their side story is like the best thing ever. Like, oh my god. They're amazing, and I love them. And, just their story itself kind of stands well on its own. The rest of Necrobarista, it's a cafe that kind of sits on the border between life and death. So it gets visited by spirits. And, you know, people spend the last 24 hours there as a spirit before crossing over if they want to. There's a council that tries to keep the balance, making sure spirits don't overstay their welcome. There is a system of essentially buying and selling and bartering time. You're given 24 hours by default, but you can lose or gain time depending on how you go about it. Maddie in the cafe goes around gambling with people's time, taking hours from people, and she's been putting it into a tree at the center of the cafe, which is a very bad no-no. So a member of the council called Ned occasionally checks in on them. Yeah, he's friends with them and he lets certain things slip because he cares about them, but he is also a councilman. His job is to make sure this kind of stuff doesn't happen. But it seems to be now that we've just learned from this chapter is because she wants to bring back Shay, who used to previously own this cafe. Maddie is now the owner of it. There's another character, Keyshawn. He recently died. He's gone over his time, but he's still here. As you go over your time, you start to feel weird as a spirit. And you can get more time to offset that, but it's generally not a good thing. If he joins the council, which he's thinking of doing, he can stay longer, which is why he wants to potentially work with Ned. And then Ashley is essentially little gremlin girl genius who makes robots and helps on the technical side of things with Maddie's magic and necromancy. So there's a couple things here. So we've got Beth 3. This is really weird because there are some stories like we haven't found a character named Beth. We saw a character earlier by the name of Samantha who was just a pretty lady who drank a bit with Maddie and then called it a day and then she fucked off. And then she has a side story where she worked as a waitress for like a Yakuza host cafe. Then turns out that she's actually a CIA agent who was sent to kind of like be undercover to take down this Yakuza lord, which she totally helped in some sort of assassination while falling in love with a member, a foot soldier of the Yakuza. When it turns out that the foot soldier is actually the head, and she kind of fell for it, but you know what? She's not actually dead, so she can go off and tell her CIA mates about the whole twist and everything, because the Yakuza boss, or the one who she thought was the Yakuza boss, was killed in this attempted assassination, and in thinking that they were both dead, spilled the beans everywhere, and then she was like, fucking joke's on you, I'm not actually dead. So pretty interesting story so far. The side stories have been better, because they can stand on their own. The chapters of this, I feel like if I didn't have all these little snippets that told me about the characters and filled me a little bit more in on their characters, I wouldn't care about them. I feel like the main story of Necrobarista doesn't really stand too well on its own, because it's depending too much on supplemental optional reading to really give you a feel for how these characters act and talk and interact with one another. And it's just reading. It's just reading. It's not a cutscene or anything all the time. So there's Beth 3. I'm just gonna look around and see if there's any others. There's the circle itself is cherished moments. Sometimes I just sit. Judgment 2. There's usually an Ashley story around here. Hello everyone, hope everyone had a good time over the holidays. Yeah, I'm hoping everyone had a wonderful holiday. I'm guessing there's no other story here. There's usually an Ashley story. But I guess not, and this is where she was. Usually where people were, you can get a general idea of where their stories are. And then I can't progress forward to the next chapter you have to at least read a specific story to get to the next one. Which for this one, I think it's going to be the one at the circle. But I'm going to read that one last. So let's go to Beth. What the hell is going on down here? As Maddie descended the stairs, the huddle broke, revealing a girl sitting on the floor looking dazed. The man leaning over her spoke. Beth, are you? I'm fine, said Beth, swinging her arms around, clearly only barely aware of her surroundings, but aware enough that she didn't want to give off the appearance of not being completely in control of the situation she was in. The little side stories of Beth, it just seems like chick who's at the basement of Maddie's cafe, people betting and doing dumb shit, and dumb knife fight stuff. This is a dumb knife fight. I don't understand this one. Maddie got down on the floor next to her. You're bleeding. Beth touched the back of her head and looked down at the pool of blood. Sorry, I must have fallen and hit my head. Maddie looked up. You, big guy, go upstairs and ask Shay for an ice pack. She helped Beth sit up. You can see okay? Yeah, said Beth, just a little dizzy. Maddie inspected the wound on the back of her head. Doesn't look deep, just broke the skin. Good news, kid. No permanent brain damage for you today. Beth apparently had enough control of her senses to roll her eyes. Lucky me. Of course, I'm questioning whether you weren't already brain damaged, because I'm guessing those 2 knives on the floor have something to do with your present condition. Maddie looked up at several members of the crowd that were sitting by, nervously and passively watching. Am I wrong? She paused. I'm not hearing any denials. Come on, people. 2 actual rules, and you managed to break both of them in one night. The man Maddie had sent upstairs came back down with an ice pack she had requested. Shay said he can bring first aid if... Not necessary, said Maddie. Here, she said, handing the ice pack to Beth. Hold that against the back of your head. I'm not sure if it does anything to blood flow, but it'll at least numb the area. Why would I want to be numb? Better than being in pain, said Maddie. Then again, I am talking to someone who just decided that a fun way to spend an evening would be trying to avoid the wrong end of a steak knife. Maddie scanned the rest of the group. Anyone else have any wounds? Don't hide them if you do. It's just me, said Beth. No one even got cut. And no one's going to get cut, said Maddie, looking up and speaking to the crowd. Come on, people. I don't care who you are. As long as you're here, you have real blood, and I can't have you bleeding all over my floor. You can't just wash bloodstains out of a wood floor. Maddie pointed to the staircase. I think you should all find something else to do. You can stick around upstairs, but if you cause any trouble, we do have ways of removing you, and no one wants that. Some of you, this might be your last night here. Don't force us to put it into a swift end. Oh yeah, rule 1 of the bars, don't ask if the other people are dead or alive. That's their business. I got drunk with friends playing a bird dating sim. Best Christmas ever. I'm sad I missed that. Everyone shuffled toward the staircase, including Beth, who had managed to stand up. Maddie grabbed her by the arm. Not you. You're not moving until the wound in the back of your head stops bleeding. It already has, said Beth. Let me see, said Maddie, examining the wound. Sit back down. Beth obeyed and took a seat, cross-legged on the floor. Maddie crouched next to her and began cleaning and dressing the wound. Why did you do this? Said Maddie. Wow, my throat. Beth countered Maddie's question with one of her own. Why do you have a fight club that's so formalized that there are rules posted on the wall? I understand why people do it in general, said Maddie. People spend time without a physical body, and when they get it back, they want an adrenaline rush. They want some kind of thrill. What I want to know is, why you? Why does a girl who looks like she can't be older than 16 want to get into blood sports? You don't know what it's like, said Beth. I know what it's like to be a teenage girl, said Maddie, but I never felt the urge to start getting into fights with men twice my size. Beth turned away. You don't know what it's like to want to feel something, said Beth, to feel so numb that you want to cry and then be unable to cry. You just feel nothing. That's what it's been like for me. I just wanted to feel something. I just wanted to feel like I was alive for a change. Spoiling for a dose of pain to escape the numbness, said Maddie. I'd agree if you didn't say it condescendingly like that. Getting punched not enough pain for you? I wanted it to feel real, said Beth. Beth looked at the ice pack and felt the back of her head, which seemed to have stopped bleeding. You want to know the truth? I wanted this to happen. That's why I came here. Maddie shook her head. I can't empathize. It's clear that I've never gone through what you have. So in the absence of empathy, the best I can offer you is my sympathy. Are you done bleeding? Have you gotten your fill of thrills? Yes, to both, said Beth. You'll probably be fine without a bandage, said Maddie. You're lucky if it was only this bad. You can stick around if you want to, but try not to do anything too physical. I wouldn't want you to open that wound and start bleeding everywhere. I think I've had enough for one night, said Beth. I'll see myself out. If you're ready to go, then go, said Maddie, but I don't want to feel like I'm chasing you out. Beth followed Maddie upstairs. Kyle was waiting for them by the car. Beth, he said. I'm, sorry about the whole, Don't be, said Beth. I had a lot of fun tonight. Me too, said Kyle. You really had me on the ropes towards the end. I feel like I couldn't leave this world on a better note. I just thought I'd stick around to see if you, were okay. I was just about to leave too, said Beth. You want to leave together? I'm curious about how, things work out. Sure, said Kyle. The two fighters walked to the door of the cafe and walked down the catwalk toward the terminal exit. You're a real fighter, said Kyle. Thanks, said Beth, politely responding to his compliment. Not like me, I mean, said Kyle. You really know what you're doing. Beth smiled. Kyle wasn't praising her just to praise her. He had actually noticed her skill. Where'd you learn to fight like that? He said. Beating people like you, said Beth. Ah, said Kyle. I guess I'm just the last in a long line of guys who had no idea what they were doing. Hopefully not the last, said Beth. They reached the end of the terminal, and Kyle got ready to step out. Hold on, said Beth. Shall we do this together? Kyle blinked. Sure. All right, on 3, she said. 1, 2. On 3, they both stepped over the threshold. Beth stumbled onto the street and looked around her. Kyle was nowhere to be seen, somehow vanished from existence. Beth looked over her shoulder through the still open door and paused a moment before pulling out her phone to call for a ride. Kyle was dead, but not her. It's really weird. People who end up in the terminal, they're not they're either alive or dead. But I don't know if they know it. Alrighty. How was that one? Again, there's nothing here that makes me think there's an Ashley one. Judgment 2. Ned leaned with his back against the counter, resting both his elbows on the surface behind him. I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't lean on my counter, said Maddie. Your counter? Yes, it is my counter, said Maddie. So please don't lean on it. Ned laughed. People lean on this counter all the time. Customers lean on this counter. You're not a customer. What if I ask for a drink? Then am I a customer? We reserve the right to refuse service to anyone, so no, simply requesting a drink would not make you a customer. A man with long, thin arms approached the counter. Can I get 2 lattes, 1 vanilla and 1 with soy milk? You got it, said Maddie. We have that. We'll have that right out for you. Thanks, said the thin man, who took a seat at the table near the entrance. Maddie preoccupied herself with making the drink. Hey, Shay, said Ned. Shay looked up. Do you ever feel like what you all do here is insignificant, said Ned. Running the terminal? Making drinks, said Ned. There's more to life than creature comforts. I enjoy coffee as much as the next guy, but it's not good to get too pampered. I'm not sure what enjoying a nice drink is what I'd call pampering, said Shay. But if I had my choice between a pampered life and an unpampered one, I'd definitely pick the former. I say that as someone who's known what it's like to lead an unpampered life. Suppose so, said Ned. I just think that overindulging in creature comforts will be the downfall of civilization. Not that I'd have a problem with that. Civilization is pretty overrated as it is. I don't think that lattes are fueling a collapse of society, said Shay. One might even say that the ability to walk into a cafe, ask for a drink, and have it made to order is civilization. You know what it's like to live in a world without air conditioning, said Ned. So do I, shouted Maddie from across the room. Wasn't talking to you, said Ned. And no, living in an apartment with no AC is not the same as living in a world without air conditioning, because when you lay in bed at night, you know at any time you could go out and buy a window unit. Not sure what your point is, said Shay. Of course you don't, said Ned. Neither did the Romans. That didn't stop them from getting invaded. I know you're not that old, said Shay. Don't have to be old when you've got books, said Ned. And these books had a chapter about how the Romans were caught completely unaware in air-conditioned cafes while sipping lattes as the invaders came to destroy their way of life. Oh no, wait. And these books had a chapter about how the Romans were caught completely unaware in air-conditioned cafes while sipping lattes as the invaders came to destroy their way of life? Precisely, said Ned. They were sitting indoors with the windows closed and couldn't hear the barbarians streaming into their lands. One moment you're sitting down in a recliner, the next you've got a spear through your chest. Shay raised his eyebrows in a way that gave the impression of someone who had just rolled his eyes without wanting to invest the effort in having to roll his eyes. I think I'll take the recliner, and when I wind up with a spear in my chest, you can come and laugh at me, said Shay. Sure, said Ned. Like I said, I've got no dog in this fight. I'm not offering advice, just judgment. You can go on, doing whatever you want, and I'll keep thinking less of you for it. I like that. Oh, I like that quote. I like that quote. You can go on doing whatever you want, and I'll keep thinking less of you for it. I love that. Shay glared at Ned. Said Ned. Not that I judge you. You know what it's like to have a hard life. I can tell from the calluses on your hands. You don't get those by accident. Ned lowered his voice and glanced at Maddie. But her. You and I both know that kids these days. Shay grabbed Ned by the scruff of the neck and jerked him violently before softly speaking directly into his ear. Don't ever try and judge her, Ned. You don't know the first thing about what she's been through. You know what? Story, neither do we. I don't know either. So please, give me a reason to care about Maddie. Please. Because I will say right now, based on the cast of characters that I do have, she is probably the worst one. Because it feels like I'm supposed to feel sorry for her and sympathize with her, but you're not giving me a reason to. You're just telling me that I should. Shay let go of Ned's collar, but not before giving him a violent tug. Fine, I get it. You're protective, said Ned. But not everyone here is like your little protege. Like Mr. Scrawny over there. He jerked his thumb in the direction of the thin man who was awaiting his lattes. Same thing goes for him, said Shay. What do you know about what he's been through? Who are you to judge? Ned raised his hands defensively. I'm just saying, times aren't what they used to be. You're right, times aren't what they used to be, said Shay. And do you know what I've learned from being around for quite a while? It doesn't get easier. I get stronger, but life doesn't get easier. So kindly fuck off with any of your kids these days bullshit. Sheesh, said Ned. You know, as old souls go, you're no fun to commiserate with. Sorry to be a disappointment, said Shay. He stood up and started to walk away. It's odd, said Ned, not looking up. Shay stopped and turned to him. What is? To see you give so much of a fuck, said Ned. I thought you had no fucks left to give. I have fucks left to give, but they're not as plentiful as they used to be, said Shay. So I have to save them for the things I care a lot about. I was just bullshitting, you know, said Ned. Taking the piss out of everyone is supposed to be a recreational pastime. I was just working with the material in front of me. You were right about one thing, said Shay. About our society being overrun with invaders who destroy our way of life. That's quite an about face. Shay placed an arm around Ned and pointed at Maddie. Invader. He pointed at two 20-somethings chatting in the corner. Invaders. He pointed at an Ashling scout scuttling across the floor. Tools of the invaders. The world used to belong to the likes of you and me, and now it doesn't. Every generation, a new generation comes, bringing their new ways with them, invading our world. Folks like you and I, we're the ones who have to worry about being caught unaware. Because pretty soon, the world is going to belong to people like them. In fact, I think that day may have already come, and we just haven't realized it yet. Cripes, said Ned. You make it sound so apocalyptic. Funny, said Shay. I thought I was being optimistic. Okay. I like Shay as a character, but Ned is okay. I like Shay. I like Ashley. Maddie is just kind of meh. I don't know. They don't... Again, if I don't read these, I wouldn't know about some of these characters. Sometimes I just sit. Shay came down the stairs and noticed that Keyshawn is still seated at the counter, staring into a glass of something. It was a mixed drink of some kind, but it didn't look like coffee to Shay. You mind company? Said Shay, leaning on the seat next to Kishan. By all means, said Kishan. I don't see anyone else using that seat. Well, you might have been using it, said Shay, as a buffer. I'm not looking for conversation, said Kishan, but I'm not really looking to avoid it either. That makes two of us, said Shay. He leaned across the counter and reached down, locating a cup and a bottle purely by touch from a familiar nook in the bar. He poured himself a finger of whiskey, but just enough to warm his tongue. Kishan continued staring into his own drink, his expression unwavering. Shay shrugged and sampled his own drink, feeling the warmth of the drink as the whiskey spread across his tongue and trickled down his throat. He set the glass down. The next few moments passed in silence as Kishan continued staring into his own glass, and Shay absently turned his empty glass on the counter. Kishan finally broke the silence. If you're waiting for me to finish off this drink so you can offer me some of whatever that is, you might be waiting a long time, said Kishan. I wouldn't offer you this, said Shay. It's a special bottle, older than I am. Something like that ought to be kept in private, don't you think? Said Kishan. Shay shrugged. I have no problem letting people sample it if they want it. This bottle has a way of never running empty. But a whiskey like this, you don't get it just by sitting there passively. You have to at least take the step of asking for it, because it only gives when people are expecting to get. If I offer, it won't work. It sounds like you have a bottle that it's in the business of filling people's subconscious prophecies, said Kishan. That does seem to be the case, said Shay. I try not to think about it. Bad juju. Juju? Is that a real thing here? As real a thing here as it is anywhere, said Shay. Kishan looked contemplative for a moment. If the bottle is in the business of fulfilling people's expectations, what happens if I expect you to pour me a drink and find the bottle empty? Don't, said Shay, cutting him off. Don't even get me thinking about it, because if I start thinking about it, it might happen. I've got a good thing going here. Don't jinx it. All right, said Kishan. Sorry if I messed with your mojo, or juju, or whatever it is. I didn't mean to break anything. It's not as fragile as that, said Shay. This isn't the first time I've had this conversation. Just, why play with fire if you don't have to, you know? I think I'll have some of that whiskey, said Kishan. Lord knows I'm not making any progress with this. He looked at the drink in front of him and pushed it aside. Shay smiled and reached behind the counter for another glass, pouring a single finger for Kishan. Kishan took a sip. That's smooth, he said. I know, said Shay. They don't make them like they used to. Well, they do, but they'll take a few more decades to get there. Kishan cleared his throat and started coughing. He pounded his chest in his fist and let out a wheeze before settling down. You alright? Said Shay. Yeah, said Kishan. I think I'm alright. Whatever rut Kishan had been in when he sat down, he seemed to be out of it by now. There was something about that dry whiskey that had a way of catching people's throats by surprise, and there was something about a coughing fit that had a way of getting butterflies out of the stomach. Maybe it wasn't much, but it was something. Shay smiled as he put away the bottle, giving it an affectionate pat as he sat it down. One less case of post-mortem depression in the world. Good job, Pappy. Alright, that's that one. That was Sometimes I Just Sit. Okay, we read Beth. We read Ned's. Alrighty. Oh, it's an AC unit. Or, well, it's an air filter. Alrighty. And this is the main one. Cherished moments. What are you doing? Said Ned. Shay spoke without turning his head, looking at that wall over there. So nothing. No, said Shay. I'm looking at that wall over there. So nothing. That wall has an interesting texture, said Shay. Have you ever noticed that if you stop and stare at something for long enough, it starts to look just like itself? I think you're talking crazy, said Ned. When I was younger, I was in the habit of making comparisons, said Shay. I'd see a cloud and say, oh, it looks like a duck, when it looked nothing like a duck. My mind wanted so desperately to connect that feeling of seeing a cloud to something I was familiar with. Now I'm content to just look at a cloud and appreciate it for what it is. You're really serious about this, said Ned. You're actually scrutinizing that wall. Not scrutinizing it, said Shay. Just observing it and appreciating it. How did you get to be this way? Said Ned. Why are you the way you are now? Shay shrugged. I realized at a certain point that I might as well cherish every moment. I don't understand you, said Ned. I thought cherish every moment was about spending time with your loved ones, getting the most out of life, not wasting away staring at a wall. You're right. You don't understand me, said Shay. If the only moments you can cherish are the ones you're with friends or family, or hearing a great song, or having a great meal, that's just cherishing the precious moments. You're selectively choosing moments to cherish. I mean to cherish every moment. Standing in line at the store, cherish it. Alone in a room with no one but yourself? For company? Cherish it. That sounds impossible, said Ned. It's hard, not impossible, said Shay. But it gets easier when you practice. I'm not sure whether to pity you or envy you, said Ned. There you go again, said Shay, always trying to make the comparison. Looking at another person and considering whether to pity them because they're worse off than you, or envy you because they're better off. Never willing to just let them be what they are, and let yourself be what you are. Okay, now you're starting to sound profound. Shay grinned. Did I accidentally deliver a bit of cognate wisdom there? You might have, said Ned. I think if there's anyone who ought to appreciate what I'm saying, it's you, said Shay. You probably know better than most folks that not every— You probably know more than most folks that not every day can be full of wonderful moments. Thank you, Pale Shadow, for the sub. Thank you, with a beep. Some days are just ordinary. Some days you've got little beyond your own thoughts for company. I guess I'm such good friends with my own thoughts that I forgot they were there, said Ned. Ned slumped next to Shay. What are you doing? Said Shay. I'm going to stare at this wall until it starts looking like itself, said Ned. There you go again, said Shay. Looking at something with an expectation of what it's going to look like. You've got to let go of that, man. Fuck! Now you've got me thinking about my own brain. This is like one of those things where someone tells you not to think of an elephant, and then it becomes impossible not to. I wasn't kidding when I said it was hard, said Shay. I also wasn't kidding when I said it gets easier with practice. Well then, said Ned. I guess I may as well start now. I liked that. That was cute. I like the part here where it's like always trying to make the comparison, looking at another person and considering whether to pity them because they're worse off than you, or envy you because they're better off. Never willing to just let them be what they are and let yourself be what you are. I don't know, I like that. Reminds me of people. I think that opened the door. No, it didn't. Oh, here we go. Who wants to live forever? There's the sign. I missed one. It's like literally right here. This one opens the door though. Espresso machine's acting up again, Maddie sighed. Why does it have to be like this? It doesn't have to be like this, said Shay. You're right, said Maddie. It wasn't always like this. If you travel back in time far enough, you'll find an era when we had a working espresso machine. And if you travel even further back, you'll get to a time when espresso machines didn't exist, said Shay. Maddie reached below the counter for a bottle of Chardonnay she had opened that morning. It was half empty. Is this the prelude to one of those moments where an old man tells me about how lucky we are to have things so easy? Nah, said Shay. Things aren't easier. In fact, they're harder. That's why you need all the modern technology to help deal with them. Shay nodded to the wine bottle in Maddie's hand. So are you gonna offer me some of that, or just keep squeezing its neck like you're trying to choke it? Maddie began pouring a drink for Shay. So what were things like back in the old days? Well, for one thing, we didn't need glasses back then. Glasses are not a new invention, old man. I've seen pictures of Benjamin Franklin. Hell, well, yeah, we had glasses back then, but we didn't use them. We drank straight from the bottle. Har har. Not really, said Shay. Glasses are just... Not really, said Shay. Glasses are just one more thing to keep track of. One more thing to clean. It's much easier to just pass the bottle back and forth. That may be the case, said Maddie, but I'm sure our patrons appreciate the extra effort that goes to making sure they're always drinking from clean glasses. I'm sure they do, said Shay. That's another thing that's changed. Everyone's a connoisseur of whatever they're drinking. Is that you finger-wagging about how young people all have particular tastes? No, said Shay. At least I don't think it is. I guess people are all enjoying the present moment more. Back when we drank sock juice, we were just doing whatever it took to get that stimulant into your bloodstream. Ditto for most depressants. I have to say, I do love the music in this game. It's really, really vibey. Do I want to know what sock juice is? Said Maddie, because I'm fairly certain I don't. We didn't have coffee filters back then, said Shay, so you'd use a sock instead. Don't worry, we always used clean socks whenever they were available. Maddie closed her eyes, looking physically ill. You were saying something about people enjoying the present moment before that thoroughly awful digression about how you made coffee. Digression. Yeah, said Shay. I know there's a stereotype about how in modern society, no one is ever really present. But if anything, I feel like it's the other way around. Nowadays, people are all about enjoying the present moment. People used to be way more obsessed with where they were going. As in, where they were migrating to? In a manner of speaking, said Shay. Let's just say that I'm amazed how few people these days come in here asking questions about heaven and hell. 100 years ago, if you caught someone on their way out of this world, the first thing they wanted to know was, which place is this? And after they found out they were on a temporary stop to the next place, they'd want to know where it was they were going. There's still plenty of that, said Maddie. Yeah, but a lot less of it, said Shay. And you know, I don't think it was a case of people's priorities suddenly changing once they found themselves standing on the precipice. There were people who used to describe themselves as God-fearing. It was just a part of life. And now it's not, he shrugged. I guess people found more important things to worry about. There wasn't a lot going on back then. He took a sip of Chardonnay. Good thing I'm going to live forever. Worried you'd go to hell? Hell yes, said Shay. I've done way too much sinning to ever make it to heaven. You've done more good than ill for the world, said Maddie. I'm pretty sure that balances it out. You probably have a positive balance. Nah, said Shay. Excuse me. I don't think it works like that. I'm pretty sure I'm just a bad person who happens to do good things most of the time. Well, it might not be good enough for heaven, but it's good enough for me, said Maddie. So I guess it is a good thing that you're going to live forever. Alright, and that's that one. I think that opens the door. Yep, and there's the basement. Here's the funny thing. This game is supposed to be like a 3 to 4 hour game. I honestly think that's if you don't read any of the side stuff. Because I find myself reading them for a while. I mean, I'm also chatting with you guys, but like, I feel like to really process what I'm reading and to understand it, like, that takes a bit. So there's the cellar. This is the basement. This is the fight club and storage. Let's go back up to the cafe. I'm guessing this is gonna lead somewhere. Again, there's two on. There's Keyshawn, there's Ashley, there's the main story, there's side story 1, and then side story 2 over here. And when we first entered the cafe, it was like walking down a street and seeing the cafe. And now this is the outside, and then this is the terminal. Again, this is the precipice between life and death. And that gate is essentially the gate to wherever you're gonna end up. Whether it's the real world because you're not actually dead, or, you know, passing on. From what it seems. From what it seems, at least. But everyone here, they feel and have a body, but whether they're alive or dead is subjective. It seems like they know. It seems like the people who are dead are aware of it, though. It's a little bit confusing in that aspect. The world building leaves a little bit to be desired, so. Alrighty. Let us continue with the main story. This is on you. There's no question. You are a failure. The council's going to take the cafe away from you. And you should have seen this all coming. Episode 7, Ghost. Day 3, 7 a.m., the terminal. This never gets old, you know? I wondered for a long time how I would feel if I never got old. Yeah, I don't know how one goes about going to and from this, because again, they get customers living and dead. Just the general rule is don't say which one you are. And Ashley seems to come here every day, but seems to be alive with a family. Keyshawn is dead. We don't really know much about Maddie. We know she's alive. Shay's dead, clearly. Ned is kind of in between. He works for the council, so he stays alive as long as he wants. Tuan and Hannah, are both alive. Samantha and I think it was like Nakamura. Nakamura is dead and Samantha's alive. You know, I wondered for a long time how I would feel if I never got old. And then I tried it out. And I got old anyway. That's probably a moral in that story somewhere. Psh, when did we ever have time for morals anyway? You're a Hellion, you know that? Even the mild-mannered can raise hell under the right circumstances. It's weird to think that you used to just be a mild-mannered student. I was just better at biting my tongue. If anything, I just hope that I was able to make your life a little more interesting. We've had a pretty good run, mate. I don't want you to feel like I wasted my time on you. Also, this is set in Australia. Or that having you in my life hasn't been an absolute bloody privilege. Can we do this later? Of course. I reckon I see someone walking over. Can you get the machine ready? If there was a moment where Maddie hoped the machine would fail her, it's now. Yeah. Let's make some fucking coffee. Here you go. Again, sorry for the wait. Thanks. If it were anywhere else, I'd just not come back. But the beans. And I promise it won't happen again. Thanks for your patience. How long was I staring at the wall? 15 minutes by my reckoning. Shay's mentioned a method of reckoning might mostly be based on hunches, but his hunches are formed by more experience than you can fit into most science textbooks. What the hell? I came inside from sweeping up the front, and just saw you staring blankly into your mug while the customer was just standing there. They were being very patient. I have no idea how that happened. I feel terrible. It's no biggie. Like you told me the other day. Our roasts are iconic enough that we can afford to get away with stuff like that once in a while. Well, yeah, but the context of that conversation was that we just fought off dozens of Ashlings that didn't believe us. How did Ashley even find the time to make that many of them? When we told them we weren't stray pieces of cutlery. Yeah, we probably shouldn't let that happen again. Trust me, it's not on the agenda. But like I was saying, people love this place. Even if they sometimes have to wait 15 minutes for the barista to stop hyper-focusing on her coffee. Yeah, I don't know. That isn't meant to happen. How long have you been awake? I think maybe 3 days? Good lord. That's bad, yeah? I'm honestly amazed you're not seeing things. Oh, I'm hallucinating hardcore. No worries there. Also, I keep seeing faces in coffees. They saying anything interesting? Nothing but echoes of my internal monologue. There's a lot of room in Maddie's head for those ideas to bounce around and revisit her. More espresso equals less depresso. I like the word depresso. More espresso equals less depresso. I'm sure it's a fun time. It's a blast. At least your hands don't need to be too steady to make coffee. See, I wouldn't necessarily agree with that. Shh. Anyway, speaking of coffee, you should make some. I'm already like 15 shots deep, man. I think I'll die if I have any more. No, Maddie, I'm saying you have a job to do. Sorry, I feel like you're trying to lead me into some sort of conclusion here, but... For the customer right here, who I assume is wanting a coffee.
Huh. Oh, shit! My bad. Haven't slept for...
What can we get you? 1 latte, 1 soy flat white. Oh, wait. Simple things can sometimes pull you back down to earth. At the very least, they're a reason you'd miss having both feet on the ground. Feel free to take a seat. We'll bring them over. Man. Yep. 15 shots, though? Really? Because just saying, at some point you're gonna hit a lethal dose.
I have some insane tolerance happening here.
There are some things that Maddie has a hard time tolerating. Caffeine isn't one of them.
I think. I hope.
Right. I respect your right to make a complete idiot out of yourself and die in the process. I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't. Huh. I can't believe everyone's gonna know me as the person who killed her boss in a botched necromancy attempt. The only thing worse than getting caught practicing necromancy is getting caught failing at necromancy. You know, that's hella street rep right there. Council's gonna be too afraid of me to screw with me. I don't think they're too intimidated by you, fortunately. Damn it. Let's not worry about them for now, though. What should I worry about instead? Nothing. Buddy? I tried. Hey, actually. Where's Ashley? Sleeping upstairs. We're not gonna get much out of her for a few hours at least. And Keyshawn's gone off somewhere in the terminal with Ned. They're around. Somewhere. Good that Ashley's getting some sleep, though. Imagine if you did that. I'll sleep when I'm dead. Uh-huh. But also, she's okay, right? Yep. Just needs some rest and maybe a few days of tapering off caffeine. Oh, she's gonna be cranky. As a mule. Well, I have that to look forward to. I'm sure it'll be plenty of fun. What can we get you? What roast do you have today?
Let me see.
We've got your standards, espresso, Italian, city. No, I'm looking for something fancy. Fancy, you say? What do you have in mind? I don't know. Something new, something different, something special. Artisan ale? Psst, Maddie?
What?
In English, that word translates to artisanal. Thanks. Anytime, mate. We've got a pretty nice house roast that you might like. What else can you call a coffee that feels like home? The beans are sourced from a faraway land, enchanted with subtle magics. What land? Tell me. They're from Brisbane. What else? I'll give you our secret blend if you stop holding up the line. Ah. I'll take it. Go sit down. I'll bring it over to you. What were you gonna give him? I was just gonna take a blowtorch to some espresso beans. Come on, Maddie.
What?
Don't be ridiculous.
I don't know what you mean.
I mean that it's a waste of time for you to do that when you've got people to serve. Be right back. I'll roast the beans with a blowtorch. "10:45 a.m. the terminal. God, you aren't kidding! This is awful! How are you able to drink that without your entire face crumbling into dust? Squeaky, yeah, I don't have work. I'm gonna go work as a barista. No, I'm reading a story. It's so dry that it'd give Antarctica a run for its money. Antarctica is a desert. Antarctica is a desert. Technically. Shut up. I find it drinkable because it reminds me of good times. Drinkable feels like it should rank right up there with passable for tepid compliments. What? It's thoroughly shithouse. It reminds me of most of Lost Loves. It's very worrying to me that this concentrated bin juice reminds you of a relationship. Oh, if only Maddie knew just how many hearts Shay has had to break and how many times he's had to steal his own. Oh, I've told you about her. Wait, you're not talking about... Yep, the fugitive. Putting it charitably, there are probably some other words that could describe her. The one who I took in for a few months. I thought you liked her! I did. The taste reminds me of her because it's smoky. Like licking a frickin' like licking a friggin' tailpipe? And has vague hints of iron. I have concerns, Shay. Never thought I'd have a succubus drop by, to be honest. Succubi are fabled for going after sleeping victims, but most of them have the decency to wake you up and ask permission first. Wait, you never told me she was a succubus. Didn't I? Well, I suppose it would have been inappropriate to mention that in front of Ashley. Oh yeah, her head would definitely explode. But yes, she was a succubus. I wouldn't have ever expected a cute demon to crash at my bar, but ended up having a wonderful, if short-lived, relationship. Flings can cram a lot of passion into a few days. Some people think that kind of passion density shouldn't be possible. Attempt one at your own peril. That's actually really sweet. Heh, yeah. Still weird that the coffee reminds you of her, but I've heard weirder things. If you don't have an appetite for the unusual, the terminal is a bad place to find a full-time job. If I explained it to you, your head would explode too. Well, you mentioned tailpipes. Well, that's my break time over. Time to get back to working things. To work running a cafe doing barista things. I'm going to perform some barista-related activities, and you are welcome to join me, I guess. Don't forget to water the plants. Water them yourself. It's your job. Busy. Goodbye. Oh, is that it? That's the end of the episode? Are we seriously here just so we can be part of the of a robot fight club? For real? Is this why I was raised from the dead and sealed in a metal shell? Ow! Is that the only reason? Guys, I'm freaking out. Why aren't you saying anything? Guys? Huh. Egg puns. Right, I should poach some of them. Seriously, is this not a big deal to you? Nah. We only fight if we want to. And it's all in good fun. You're really endorsing capturing creatures and forcing them to fight one another? Sure, why not? It's not like we really have the capacity to get injured or bleed. Ethics, schmethics. Unbelievable. You two are unbelievable. Eh. Hey, is that the sound of someone calling us? I think it might be. Duty calls and all that. Toodles. Posture check. Stretch. And hydrate. I'm gonna have to like lift the point things for these. People sure have liked spamming them lately. Don't forget to water the plants. Alrighty, where are we now? Oh, we're just here in the mezzanine. Will there be more stuff then, or? Will there be more mini stuff, or? I could just go straight down. Bookmarks. Okay. We've got 2 more chapters to read. Yeah, this tree. There's not really anything here, though. Yeah. I don't know if there's any more side stories. I'm put here, so there isn't any new locations, and I've already read everything that's up here. This is the gaming room. There's nothing here. When you read this, usually something stands out if it's something. But nothing's stopping me from going straight to progressing, so I think... And there's these two. Devil's Den. I already know this one. Nothing here. Well, I guess we can just go straight to the next one. Nope, we've got that one. No? Alright. Alrighty, let's continue. Honestly, while I do like the little side story content, the less of them there is and the faster we can get through this. Oh, fuck. Hello? These bloody things are just... Ugh. Now who's making a mess? Shit. Don't scare me like that, you wanker. You'll... Oh, mate. You don't look so good. Huh? This thing? Yes, Shay. It's fine. It's very obviously not. You keep yourself together. Fine. I've only seen this once before. People don't tend to last as long as you or I. And even when they do, it hurts like hell, yeah. Shay's never been to hell, but he's pretty sure he wouldn't like it. Does Maddie know about this? No. She's got enough guilt to deal with. I'm sure she just believes I'm uncomfortable like Kishan is. What stage is he at? Headaches, memory loss. We had a bit of a chat about it yesterday. Shay, I know, I'm not staying much longer. I'll stop disturbing the balance before long. Balance just means things aren't changing. That's not always a good thing. Some balances need to be upset. Damn the balance. You're falling apart as I watch. Like I said, I'm not staying long. I can't believe Maddie's presumptuousness. Maddie likes to presume things. It's easy, and it reduces the amount of time she has to spend listening to other people talking. Hey, cut it out. She realizes that she's messed up, and she's doing her best to make amends. Surely it's too late for that. I don't think so. Come on. Come sit down. Things aren't that bad. No? No. I might be dying, and I might be having to deal with a lot of pain and guilt, but... Guilt? I feel like I failed as a mentor for Maddie. She's not going to regain her confidence for a long time, I think. It's even harder to regain your confidence when you've got no one to confide in. In necromancy? And just in general. It's easy to second-guess yourself over every little decision after something big like this happens. I'd appreciate if she second-guessed herself a little more often, to be honest. I'm sure you would. Anyway, aside from the pain, and the guilt, and the impending death. Impending death might be the worst kind of death. When death comes, you don't have to worry about it anymore. I feel quite good. Yeah, you sure sound like you're doing great. I'm just happy that she doesn't have to I'm just happy that she doesn't feel like she has to save me anymore. Even if that's just a result of her not managing to pull off the ritual. I don't feel like it was ever about the ritual, was it? No. We tried it the first time just because we were feeling like doing something risky. Something that could have given us a little extra breathing room. Breathing room for getting the council off our backs, actually. Getting some space to pursue our studies without outside interference. It's hard to study when someone is constantly looking over your shoulder, especially when you're studying things you're not supposed to be. Oh? But even that was just, I don't know, being motivated by spite or something. You got plenty of reasons to feel that way towards us. I don't feel that way towards you, mate. You know that, right? I had some doubts. You might be a constant needle in my side, but you're also one of my oldest friends. And that means a lot more than any sort of affiliation with a bunch of snobbish prudes who wouldn't know innovation if it slapped them in the face. Oof. That doesn't mean I don't miss the good times we had. We were undermining governments before it was cool. You mean the prank letters we kept sending to the Parliament in '77? The Council of Death isn't the only governing body that the terminal's residents have semi-permanent beef with. Subversive pushes for real democracy. Uh-huh. You know, even when I met you, you seemed like you'd never die. I didn't know anything about you, but you had a weird energy around you. I didn't plan on it, really. The plan was to stick around for as long as I wanted to, and then move onwards when I felt like it. A rolling stone might be plummeting towards danger, but at least it's not gathering any moss. Do you feel like moving on? I'm getting more comfortable with the idea. Icarus didn't want to fall into the ocean either. But everything's gonna fall out of the sky at some point, and Maddie was just trying to catch me. You're not actually okay with this. No, I'm not. Lying to myself is easier than admitting that. I'm gonna miss you, mate. Shay's never tried to draw attention to himself, and yet his absence is always felt. I hope you won't forget me. Forget you? I'm gonna stick a photo of you up on the wall in our office. Big one. Huh. But seriously, I want you to know that you've been a good friend, even though we've taken different paths. When they caught me and pressed me into service, seeing you again was the thing that really brought me back to life. Made me realize I could live like this, stuck here, because there was nobody else left for me. Nobody who could see me, at least, you know? I won't forget that. That means a lot to hear. Thank you, friend. Hey. You alright, mate? I'm gonna sit here for a bit if that's okay. Right here on the ground. If you'd like me to leave, just let me know at any time and I'll let you be. Alright? It's a nice day out. The weather here can be a pain in the ass, but days like this, they make it worth it, you know? I love to just sit and let the sun warm me. Sometimes when basking in the sun on a lazy afternoon, Shay really does start to feel like everything is going to be alright. It's been a couple of weeks since it happened now. I feel like the sun's warmth is the only thing that really helps me pull myself together. Yeah, what are you feeling? What you're feeling? I'm feeling it too, pretty intensely. Don't worry, it's gonna be okay. A few times a day, I totally lose myself. As in my sense of self, and also my physical self. But if you plan on sticking around and taking up a position with the council, that'll go away. You definitely won't want to stick around as long as I have. Not to assume intent or anything. I just had a hunch, seeing as you were talking to Ned. They're not evil. They're just impartial, which is its own kind of cruelty. I wouldn't judge you if you wanted to stay either. There are plenty of delights hidden in Melbourne's dark corners. Ned can show you around, if you ask nice enough. I'm sorry, mate. I've gotta ask. Is this helping at all? Because I'm honestly happy to sit here in silence. I thought you'd appreciate a yarn, though. No, it's fine. Alright. So fun things in Melbourne. I suppose the story starts around 1860s when I first came over. Learned the language pretty quick. Not that it helped with dealing with colonials. What did you come over for? Gold. Same as everyone else. And so, Then he shows me these ridiculous drawings of himself wearing armor, like a medieval knight. Always had an odd noble streak in him. Maybe didn't aim it in the right direction all the time. But when he left, before I could help him use it a little more productively, and things changed pretty quickly after that. I see. It's never too late, though. Maybe you'll be able to help him rekindle it, eh? Keep an eye on the candle. Sometimes you need to let it get dim, just to remind ourselves of why we need to keep it burning. Me? Oh, I don't think I could. It'd be easier than you think. I'd have to take your word for it. Heh. Regardless of whether you decide to meddle, do take care of him for me, alright? That man has a lot of pain, and Maddie's not necessarily always the nicest about it. I know that I'm asking a lot. You don't have to coddle him or anything. Just watch out for him when you can. I think I can do that. Thank you. You heard that, right? What, the noise inside? Yes. Is it something bad? I have a rough idea of what it is. No need to worry. I'll deal with it. And if I don't see you before I go, you will. I'll make sure I'm here. See you in a little bit, then.
Get him, Cooper! Make your creator proud! Palmer, stop slacking! Duck and weave! Kick his ass! That's an order!
Ashley!
What?
No knife this time.
I mean...
What?
Turn around.
Now, how'd this get... Oh.
Yeah, I went straight through you.
Interesting.
I'll say.
You should perhaps not do this in the future, though. Most people aren't as insubstantial as me.
I'm trying to wean myself out of the habit, yeah. You'll notice this knife is slightly smaller than the previous one.
I honestly can't tell the difference. But I'll take your word for it.
I'll be throwing butter knives at the back of Maddie's head before you know it. Don't worry.
Please don't murder each other after I go.
Of course not.
No, really. It'd break my heart if you two stopped being friends over something silly.
I won't let it happen.
Good. Now, what's happening here?
Just doing some prototyping for Bro Battle Royale.
Ah, that name though.
What about it?
I just feel like everything's a battle royale these days.
I have no idea what you're talking about, old man.
Never mind. What's the story with these poor things?
Cooper and Palmer? I wanted to see if they still remembered Asimov's laws of robotics.
Asimov may have been ahead of his time, but he was also a man of his time. And did they?
No, Palmer gave me a light stabbing.
Oh dear. Are you sure you're alright?
Yeah, I'd like to give him a little taste of blood every now and then.
There's nothing like the smell of blood to bring out the predator that's been kept hidden all this time.
Makes them fight better. Hungrier. Hungry for victory. And blood.
And I'm assuming you'd rather them not follow Asimov's law.
You assume correctly.
Please don't let these mix in with the rest. It'll be impossible to tell them apart.
Why would that be a bad thing, though?
Because they'll be terrible at delivering coffee if they knew they could use the mugs as projectile weapons.
I think they'd be extra enthusiastic. I won't, though. Don't worry. I wasn't going to do it in the first place.
Look at you, turning into a responsible human being.
Hey, you take that back.
No, I'm proud. When you see the next generation ready to pick up the torch, you can rest easy knowing that the future is in good hands. With you and Maddie in charge, I feel like I'm leaving the cafe in good hands.
We'll do our best to make you proud, you old fart.
What'd I do to deserve that?
Getting all sappy on me.
Ah. If you'd rather me not talk about it.
Nah, it's fine. I feel pretty good about it.
Good.
People always come and go from here, right?
Oh. I suppose you're used to it.
I think so. I sort of expected it to be all sad and emotional. But this is just another goodbye.
Oh.
And that's fine. I'm going to be sad, yeah. But I don't think this is a new feeling. Plus, you're always going to be around here to some degree. Can't have the cafe without the Shay.
You're a good egg, you know. What?
Oh, I was assuming there was gonna be some kind of pun following that.
I would never.
Would you not?
I probably would.
The truth! It's finally revealed! Good. Because I'm great, I'm great, and you don't need any encouragement. Good egg? Really?
I called you that because when you're around, it's always a shell of a good time. I'm always cracking up. Shay's skin cracks less than you'd expect from a man of his age, but he's always ready to crack a smile. You've got an excellent poker face there. Don't you like my yolks? I'm not scrambling the delivery, am I?
Oh, here you go. Let me know if I can get you anything else.
Can't leave you for a moment without you being mean to the customers, can I?
You gotta stop appearing out of nowhere, man. Gonna give me heart palpitations.
When your heart starts pounding violently inside your chest, you start to realize just how much you take that thing for granted. But you didn't even jump.
I'm very startled. Internally.
Maddie wears her emotions in the inside of her sleeve. Well, enjoy it while you can.
You're gonna keep using that excuse for everything, aren't you?
Might as well, right?
I guess I'll let you get away with it.
How generous.
But you gotta come downstairs and help me figure out some stuff.
What sort of stuff?
Science stuff.
You want to troubleshoot the ritual, don't you? Whoop. When you go to shoot trouble, bring a long barrel, a good scope, and a patient trigger finger.
Yep.
And you're sure you want to do that instead of something else? Anything else?
Uh-huh. What the shit? I don't remember leaving it like this. Unless you let a gorilla in after I left or something.
That didn't happen as far as I'm aware.
Oh, duh. I'll just tap into the building's subliminal memory. And here. That absolute rat bag. Magic caps, exotic chonks, and not a single thought for how they're used, or for obtaining the proper import licenses, or,
I'm gonna have to shut it down, no question. Ah, shit.
Well, that's not a good sign.
Not surprising, though.
That's a problem for later.
Really?
Yep. God, just look at these magic caps. They're totally fried.
Maddie, I
wonder if we just need some really big resistors in the circuit.
What would they achieve? It'd just get hotter and we'd lose some of the energy.
No, I think we maybe had too much energy at that point. So if we dissipated some of it during the second phase, when we were trying to transfer it anyway, it might have stopped the conduit from overloading.
Would it not be smarter to just try and transfer less energy in the first place?
I think we'd have issues with opening the conduit in that case. We should have drastically rethought our approach after the first time.
I'm glad we're having this revelation now instead of any other time.
And given the multi-phase structure of the ritual, it's obvious now that we needed to shift the ways in which we were utilizing energy instead of just boosting the amount we were trying to pump into it. Maybe I'm just talking in circles here, but I still believe this is viable. Just maybe not with this equipment. Have you got a pen on you? I have to write this down somewhere.
I don't believe it's worth it to keep on trying to make this work. I agree that it's probably possible, but...
But what?
You can't bear the thought of you getting yourself killed by trying this again. You've already gotten close to hurting yourself twice.
But I didn't end up hurting myself, so it's okay.
Yes, because I took the hit both times. And as long as you're trying this, you're going to keep hurting people, and eventually you'll get to the point where you can't bear to see anyone else get hurt through your recklessness. So you'll use yourself as a test subject, and you will die. You want... Oh. Get it into your head, damn it. You want to know what it's like to be on the other side of this? Wishing for one more day? One more good day where you think straight and not have to worry about saying goodbye to your friends for the last time? I keep telling everyone that I'm fine with this, that my time was up anyway. Guess what? It's a lie. I was lying to myself and to everyone else. I'm terrified of leaving, and I'm pissed off too. Of course I'm pissed off. One life was never enough for me. Feel incredibly guilty, Maddie. Any failing of yours is mine because I didn't teach you well enough. I'm too far gone to fix things, but not too far gone to care. But please give me this. Don't throw everything away. Nothing is more important than this. Just don't. If you want to respect my memory, all you need to do is remember me. My life's work is the cafe, not this ritual. And I'll be damned if I let you throw that away or throw yourself away just to stroke your own ego. My one regret, my only regret, is chasing that power myself. Stretching myself thin to find extra time. And for what? Some overblown sense of achievement? I regret it. And as I stand on the cusp of oblivion, I realize that I'm afraid for the first time. It's new, Maddie, and it burns. I don't want to go. I want one more day. Just one more day. After all this, after you kept me here against my will, without asking me, without taking a second to check whether I was okay with it, at the end, I can't bring myself to take that last step without being pushed. Isn't that ridiculous? It's not. I really am losing it, huh? Everything about me is drifting away. Shay, it's not. I'm sorry. Let me finish. I shouldn't have forced you to stay. You're right. And everything you've said is fair and valid and understandable. Except for one thing. You might not feel like it, but you're still the Shay I know and love. Doing your best to take care of everyone, keeping them safe from anything that get in their way, and giving them the space to work things out themselves when they need to. I tried to follow your example, but I guess I didn't stick the landing on that last bit. Wish I could give this another shot, right from the start. You said earlier that having me in your life was a privilege. Shay, the privilege is all mine. You felt guilty for this, and that's fair. But you've changed my life for the better in 1,000 different ways. And I think a lot of other people could say the same. I don't blame you. Maybe one day soon I'll be able to stop blaming myself too. I'm sorry for yelling. You didn't deserve that. It's okay. And I know it's okay to be scared. You can't practice dying. There's no test run for that. Even if we pull off the ritual, it would have only given you a month or two before things started getting bad again. But desperate times call for desperate measures, yeah. Look at us. Pair of saps, aren't we? I feel like it's healthy, like eating your emotional vegetables. Nah, this conversation is more like spinach. As in good in a quiche, or... I'd kick your ass if I didn't know my foot would fly right through it, you know. Very fair. I don't know if I can do this without you. Do what? All this. I know things feel overwhelming right now. But believe me when I say that you're the most... But believe me when I say that you're the most qualified person in the world to run this cafe. The most qualified living person. You fucker. And I'm the most qualified person to take that judgment, so there. I guess I can't argue with that. You sure can't. I fully believe that you're gonna do some great things with this place, if you can stop Ned from shutting it down. Don't fall into the mindset of preserving broken things just because they remind you of the past, okay? I won't. Atta girl. There's something I need to go do. Come find me when you're ready. I won't be too far away. Alright, I will. Day 3, 4 p.m. at the terminal.
No, not like that, like this!
But you said not to tamp it too hard.
Look at it! Look at it, the coffee just fell out! You gotta tamp it hard enough that it doesn't fall out!
You could have told me that before.
I didn't expect you to just lightly tap it! What?
Hey, is this gonna take much longer? I got somewhere to be.
It'll be just a moment. It's just a short black! How are you finding this hard?
I got this.
acceptable.
Sometimes you have to take what life gives you. Hey, that was meant to be mine, right?
We're just exploring synergies and working on disrupting the coffee industry. Please bear with us for just a moment longer. Again.
No. Don't worry, mate. You're doing fine. Are you gonna make my coffee? Actually, we're gonna close up for tonight. What? But it's not even getting dark yet. What sort of crafty coffee joint closes at 5 in the afternoon? Basically every place in Adelaide, I think. But we're not there. We're in Melbourne. So just go find coffee somewhere else. Unbelievable. Huh?
What gives, old man?
I'm closing because I want to spend time with you a lot. Yourself included, Ned. I was beginning to think you'd forgotten about me. Of course not. How long are you planning on sticking around? Not much longer, you old curmudgeon. Ned's temper has always been his undoing. I didn't mean it like that. I know. You should all sit down. I'll make us drinks. So, I've decided that this is it. I'm gonna head off in a little while. You sound pretty calm about it. I am calm. So, I suppose this is... not yet. Alright. You want one too? Yeah, if that's okay. It's not like we have a shortage of curly straws.
Well, in that case...
Never say I'm not prepared.
Amazing!
The man knows what his people need. A rare virtue. A good man is hard to find. Well, it's very much appreciated. I'm just glad to see you all smiling. This shouldn't be a depressing memory. For any of us. Day 3, 5 p.m. outside the terminal. Honestly, it's refreshing to see people's attitudes towards all this. I walked in here and felt pretty comprehensively awful but being here for this, it's helped. I'm glad to hear that. When you see it so often, it's hard to not develop a more relaxed outlook, you know? Every month we get dozens of people like you. Heh. Like us, I suppose. If I have the power to help people be at peace before they move on, why wouldn't I exercise it? You were always too nice. Better too nice than too harsh, generally speaking. Sigh. Not sure about that.
I'm sad. I'm sad about this. Just wanted to make that clear. But I'm gonna be okay. Promise.
Thank you, little P. Hey, I need to ask you a favor.
Me?
All of you, actually. I need you to look out for Maddie for me. He's gonna need some extra love for a while.
Of course.
Yeah. Alright. I know you've two had your disagreements. No, it's fine, I'll play nice. You have my appreciation. Heh, can't really say no, can I? Oh, you better bet I'm milking this. I'll allow it. Any chance you'll come along with me? Absolutely not. I've got things to get done here. Can't be gallivanting off to higher planes when I'm drowning in obligations. Ned spent most of his life not taking responsibility for his actions, so this council gig has really been a change of pace for him. Well, can't blame you for that. Speaking of Maddie, where is she? I think she's upstairs somewhere. I'll go up and join her shortly. Will you be coming back down? I don't believe so, no. I see. Is there anything you three would like me to do before we go? Any special requests? Oh, nothing for me. I'd ask for a special drink or something, but I'm sure Maddie knows all your recipes. Recipes are a convenient way to store knowledge and pass it to the next generation. Hopefully they can be trusted with the responsibility of handling it. You'd be correct there. Ashley?
All I require from you is your soul.
No, you goofball, I need that.
Well, in that case, can I have your stuff?
You can fight Maddie over it. I say fight, but she'll give up pretty easily.
Nice.
Ned? Anything you want before I go? Don't leave me. Ned always told himself this day would come, but he never really believed it. Sorry, I didn't catch that. Don't worry about it. I ought to be doing things for you anyway. Running errands, grabbing milk from the servo, you know. Huh. Man, the sun's getting low. I gotta go in a moment, I'm afraid.
Are you scared?
Nah,
Cool.
Oof. Feeling old. Not half as old as you deserve to be feeling, I reckon. Trust me, I'm feeling it. Now. Oof.
I'm gonna miss
ya.
I'm gonna miss you too. I wish you didn't have to go.
Me too. Been cool. Definitely. I'm glad you came in. Yeah, me too. Maybe I'll see you someday in the future. I'd like that. Not too soon, though. Heh, of course. Ned, I've gotta go. Still can't believe you were the first one of us. First one out of us to go. Life is full of surprises. Wherever I end up, I promise there'll be a place for you there. Any place can be home if you've got friends to keep you company. Thank you. I'll always be proud of you no matter what. Alright, enough of that. Fair enough. See you around, mate. And you. Maddie maintained her calm. His body had laid there for weeks now, gently moldering. He refused to visit again after the first time. She didn't blame him. Can you really expect anyone to be cheery about the prospect of sweeping leaves off their own grave? But she didn't mind doing that job anyway. Anyway, she'd always liked gardening, bringing things to life. Oh, okay.
So I know that Ashley built us, but as the owner of the venue, aren't we technically bound to Shay? What is the implication here? When he's gone, what happens to us? Huh. We'll be fine, right? What are you thinking?
I don't know. It didn't really cross my mind until now. Worst case scenario, we all just vanish.
Nah, worst case scenario, we vanish. Painfully.
Thanks for that. I feel way better now. We'll probably be okay. Probably. How long until we find out? Should be any minute now. Well, this has been fun. Guess we'll just wait and see. I guess. Here we go. I hope you won't forget me. Oh. Oh. Oh, there's no more stories. Oh, the ticking is ominous. And now I'm behind the counter, kind of like I'm Maddie. Cause like the very first one, when you enter the cafe, it's like you're Kishan. Okay, just one second. Let me check some messages really quick, cause I've gotten some. Okie dokie. Yeah, I can't go upstairs. Oh, wow. Alrighty, I think we're gonna... Bookmarks. Alrighty, final chapter. The clock ticks faster. Oh. All the spots. Oh, I can't go back in. What is this? Oh, it's like a train. You have to go in it. Okay. Oh. You can't move. Oh, there she is. Hey, old man. Hey, you. How are you doing? Fine, I guess. That's good, I think. Yeah, I think so. Why is this so awkward? I've never had to do this before. Not even as the one who's got to sweep up the mess afterwards. Not like this, no. Gotta say, I'm a little surprised. Life has a way of taking you for a loop like that. So are you gonna... No, not yet. Let's sit for a few moments. It wouldn't hurt. Sure. I'm sorry if this is kind of weird, but I can't get over this one thing. I'm here, sitting right here. But I'm also over there. You know? Feeling a little conflicted about it? Definitely. So you can say you're of two minds about it. I'm not gonna dignify that with a laugh. Can't say I didn't try. But seriously, that's my grave. My body's right there. How weird is that? It's pretty weird, yeah. I don't feel quite as weird as I did when I was helping you bury it, though. Fair. Grave digging. All the manual labors of gardening with none of the rewards. You gotta reckon I'm gonna grow... You don't reckon I'm gonna grow into a beautiful tree? Buddy, you're already a wise old oak. Dead wise old oak. Struck by lightning, yeah. So, you think anything's gonna grow out of me? Not unless you swallowed a bunch of seeds without me noticing. Afraid not. I don't really know what you're meant to do when you're about to pass on. Oh, excuse me. I'm not prepared at all. Am I meant to be doing some extra self-care or something? You're better at all that stuff than I am.
Yeah, man. Get yourself a bath bomb, light some candles, charcoal face mask. The whole shebang.
Is that supposed to sound appealing?
Yep.
God, I'm out of touch. I made a bath bomb once, but it flattened a city block, and then some. Goodness, you were such a hellion. That's why I took you in, because I saw that attitude in you too. Bomb-making revolutionary? No, you're a born pioneer. When you put your mind to something, you'll never stop pursuing it until you get it done or kill yourself in the process. Heh. I'll try to avoid getting into the habit of assembling bombs then. Phew. Don't get me wrong though, the bath bomb in question was definitely meant to be the sort that smells nice. For real. It was just a little bit too fragrant in the end.
Amazing.
That aside, I think it's hard to mess up lighting some candles, probably. You think I just carry scented candles with me wherever I go? Yes.
I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't have any.
Damn it. Tell me you've got some downstairs at least.
Yeah, but I'm not going to go get them.
No, that's fine. After I'm gone. Put a few around, maybe to remember me.
I'll light them all up for you. Don't worry.
Cafe's gonna stink of chamomile for weeks. That's perfect. Now, I think it's about time. What do you think? This one's your call, as it should have been the whole time. Come on, let's go have a look at your work, eh? It's always about time. It was always about time, yeah. It's very minimalist. I like it.
Hush you.
Ah, the dramatic reveal. Very swish.
Can't write history till it's happened.
No, I suppose not. What's this written down here? Maddie, did you put poetry on my headstone?
Psh, give it a read.
We see but dimly through the mists and vapors. Amid these earthly damps, what seem to us but sad funeral tapers, may be heaven's distant lamps. That's comforting.
Chin up, old friend. It's just another step. We just gotta keep on putting one foot in front of the other, no matter where we're going. You told me that back when I was a depressed mess who wandered in here looking to hide from everything.
Throwing my own advice back at me, you monster.
Heh.
I guess I should stop dawdling anyhow.
You do you.
I feel guilty for swinging back and forth on you, being anxious, then eager, then scared, then brave.
It's cool. I'm not gonna have a go at you for it. And you have every right to feel complex feelings about this very specific, very scary thing.
Thank you. But I can't do this. I can't stand here making you wonder if I'm gonna do it or not. I need to do it now or I'll never leave. Maddie,
It's okay, mate. Take a deep breath. Take it in. Let it all out.
Okay. Alright. Maddie?
Yeah?
You got
this.
We'll see each other again.
He gone.
Okay, I guess that's it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I guess that's it. He just fucking leaves. Okay. Yeah. wasn't a bad story. It was decent. Yeah. I at the end of the day, I guess it was a story about moving on. Because Maddie kept trying to keep him there. He, in a way, wanted to stay, but didn't really want to admit that he was scared of passing on, and scared to go. So it's just kind of easier to blame her. So I guess it's kind of like moving on and accepting. But again, if I had just gone straight through the chapters and didn't read any of the little side texts, I don't know if I would have cared about any of these characters. And I can still say that I'm still not like, oh my god, with these characters. I'm not emotional or anything about them. They don't really give you much to go with. Again, the only side story that really got me feeling some sort of way was Walking in the Sky with Tuan and Hannah. Everything else was kind of there. Like, it's not a bad story, but I think it needed to cement itself more than just kind of be like a straight line with like a bunch of branches that you could care about. Because again, someone who just kind of beelines straight through it is not going to care about what's going on. I really don't think so. Maybe there's something after the credits. There's always something after the credits, right? A few days later, 2 p.m. at the terminal.
All done.
Looks pretty good. It's got the right number of legs and everything.
And 50% less homicidal impulses, I think.
We're still aiming for 100% less, right?
Sure, I guess.
Well, it's progress, I suppose.
Maddie?
Yeah?
Why is the ground outside on fire?
Oh, brother.
Hey, is that?
You ready? Yeah. Tch. Wretched, isn't it? You know this place what this place needs, pal? Tell him. What? I actually don't know what this place needs. I was hoping I'd have thought of something by now.
That's done.
I guess.
Great. You'd better pick up that cigarette, Kishan.
Well, I will. What? I didn't mean to be disrespectful.
That was a cute tough guy act you two had going there.
Yeah?
Very convincing.
An enforcer is required to be imposing. It's in the job description. Oh no, don't fire me!
He's not gonna fire you. He's too much of a big softie for that.
I am not a softie.
Sure you aren't.
You're basically a giant teddy bear with a metal hat. Hey, hold on. You joined the council, Kishan? Huh? Yeah, actually. You're not gonna tell her now, are you? Huh? I thought we were gonna do a little build-up.
Tell me what?
Oh, Too much pressure!
Tell me, you weasel.
Don't be rude.
Necromancer baristas are required to be mean to council staff. It's in the job description.
He's done a good thing for you, you ought to know.
Oh, well, in that case. What's up, bud? Come on. I can't handle the suspense.
Well, last night we ended up in the archives. The council archives. Kishan went in with a particular goal and dragged me along. Hey, you didn't protest that much. Anyway, you might want to sit down for this. Okay. I managed to wipe your debt. Is this a bad practical joke? No, he's telling the truth. Turns out that there's some old bylaws that have loopholes and, well, you're not going to believe this, but the council allows payments and debt in a bunch of weird ways. Yes, we really ought to fix that. And one of the ways is through the voluntary sacrifice of a soul.
Wait, what?
So I was able to sacrifice myself by joining the council and wiped your outstanding debts at the same time.
Well, that's silly.
Huh?
So you guys get to do as much human sacrifice as you like, but as soon as I'm doing it, I'm a menace and upsetting the natural order?
Maddie.
Yes, Nettie dearest?
Pull your head in.
You're right, I apologize. Keyshawn, you didn't do this just for me, did you? Are you sure you're okay with this?
No, I promise this is fine. I wanted to stay. I was way too afraid to pass on. And I thought the council was interesting and I wanted to learn more about it. Ned might have talked me into it a little bit, but I absolutely promise that I didn't feel pressured into it. I made this decision on my own.
I don't know what to say.
Just consider it as me repaying the kindness I was shown when I walked in. I was really, really freaked out, and you all helped a lot with that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, we're gonna be okay?
As long as you stay on the straight and narrow from now on, yes.
Cool.
Reckon you'll be able to do that, Maddie.
Yeah.
I'll do my best. No more illegal rituals.
No more illegal rituals. Promise.
I'll stick to the legal stuff for as long as I can. I suppose that'll have to do. I understand that you're somewhat of a struck record in this regard, and I'm trying to make my peace with that. Oh, look at you two making friends. Wholesome. Please just try and keep your head down.
I will, yeah. It'll be hard to keep too much trouble if you keep raiding my suppliers anyway.
Sorry, just doing my job.
Yeah, can't fault you for that.
Anywho, I'm afraid we've places to be. So soon? We only just got here. I told you we're only popping in for 5 minutes. We've got paperwork to do. Ugh, responsibilities. Catch you two later.
Thanks again. I appreciate it a lot.
You're welcome. Anytime. Well, we solved that problem. You know, that non-problem.
Ugh, I'm gonna have to scrub those off. Are we gonna do it now?
Nah, I'll do it later. Right now, though, everything's pretty calm, so I was thinking we might close up early. Oh.
Damn it, what is it now? Oi! You better clean that up, you little monster! They're trying to tell us something? Ah! Hey, watch it! It's a plant? What's with the envelope? Smells nice. What's the card say?
It's from Shay. The time for regrets and apologies is long past. All we can do is look forward to the future with a smile on our faces. Don't obsess over what could have been, please. I know you're gonna do great things and you don't need my help for that. This is my last gift to you, my apprentice. You kept saying that you needed this, so I went out and got it. I think that even though some people claim to be ready for what lies next, everyone wants a little more time. Shay. Oh, it's time. Everyone wants a little more time. And you get to the plant.
Hey, are you okay?
That bastard couldn't resist playing one last joke on us, could he? I'm okay. Seriously. A pun. And I can't even give him a withering look in response. I mean, he was just quoting you, wasn't he?
He was just quoting you, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Let's go hang this up.
I know it's just us two now, but I think he'll always be here in some form, right?
I think so, yeah. We can't get rid of him that easily. Alright, let's close up.
What are we gonna do?
I was thinking of heading to the hardware store. Everyone keeps saying we need more plants in here. Why stop at one? This doesn't change my opinion. This doesn't change my opinion. Yeah, so then here's all the prologue. Yep. That's it. That was Necrobarista. Oopsies. Not what I wanted to do. There we go. Check something really quick. This was, again, it was definitely a visual novel. I really liked its approach. Yeah, better ending. Yeah, they wrapped it up a lot better. And I think that the plant is there now. The thyme, look, that thyme that was in between the beans, the plant is there now. It wasn't there before. At least I don't think it was there before. It was definitely cute. It was cute. That being said, they've got like memories, this bonus stuff. I'm still missing things somehow, so I missed some stories. Yeah, I definitely missed a story because there's 3 things that I'm missing. I'm guessing this was concept work for Shay. Oh, no, not this. Yeah, so like concept work for Shay. I definitely missed some stories then because I should have unlocked stuff. I wonder. Prologue is from previous checkpoint. What previous checkpoint? I beat the game. I beat it, so it's... But I'm clearly missing something. I guess I don't need the prologue. Bookmarks. Double shot, long black, our usual haunts. I'm guessing in between the 7th. Okay, it just takes me here. Return and explore the terminal. Because I'm definitely I have to be missing some side stories. Yeah, Maddie's not here because we finished everything. Now, when it left us up on the mezzanine. It left us around here. pretty sure I read everything, though. Maddie's inbox. Advisory role. And that's the thing, too. It's like some things aren't really that easy to spot. Checkers. Like, it's gotta be just eye-catching enough. Game room. Letter from Sophie Cordova. Ashley's in... No. Okay. Fate of Icarus. There's gotta be something else. Down Under. Ashley's Inventions. I can't get out. There we go. The Fisherman. Doesn't really tell you when there's things around. Kind of have to hope you find it. Okay, no, it doesn't seem like there's honestly anything up here in the mezzanine. Read this. Read this. Something usual. It usually more or less stands out. Basement. Painting. I wonder if I should Google where the missing stories are, because I don't know where they are. Is it the signs? No. Cellar? No. Wandering Spirit? We read this. Read that. Read this one. Nope. Yeah, if there's more, I don't know where it would be. Billiards. And Wandering Spirit. Beth. There was this one. Best 3. There's no way to like... Oh, Oh my god. How long has this button done this? Oh my god. This is bullshit. I'm fucking looking around for everything. I just could probably got goddamn button. Oh, that's bullshit. Oh, that's bullshit. Oh, I'm mad. Oh, I'm so mad. Well, time to fucking scan everything. Because I could do that, apparently. I could just scan. Oh my god. That is such bullshit. How long? ¿Cuánto tiempo? How dare you? How dare you? Enter doodle mode, Ashley's journal. Devil's Den. Thinking about alchemy the wrong way. Lamington recipe. The Fisherman, Ashley's journal, doodle mode, studio mode. Yo, I missed one. Billiards 3. Here's one I missed. I think I missed this one. I have to check. Perfectionist. Ashley's Inventions. No, I have that one. Funeral. Beth 2. Teen Transient. That's about 2 on. Okay, so there's one I missed. It says Billiards 3. Thinking about alchemy. Billiards. Yeah, I'm missing Billiards 3. So that's one I missed. Okay. Here's one I missed. Let's go. Maddie came up the stairs to see Thomas standing over a sobbing Brad. Thomas looked over at her, and she beckoned him over to the stairs. "Excuse me," she said. "Can you come downstairs for a moment?" Thomas looked over at Brad, who was sitting on the floor, face in his hands. He nodded to Maddie and followed her downstairs, leaving Brad to sort himself out in solitude. Maddie slid behind the bar, and Thomas sat down in front of her. "What are we doing here?" said Thomas. "Getting you away from him," said Maddie. "I think he needs a few moments alone to get it all out. Some people like to cry with others, and others like to cry alone. He doesn't strike me as the kind of person who likes to cry in front of others." "All right," said Thomas. "Can I get you another beer?" said Maddie. "I think I've had enough for one night," said Thomas. "What did you tell him?" said Maddie. "Do you need to know?" said Thomas. "No," said Maddie, "but I think you're struggling to figure it out yourself, and I think you might have an easier time understanding it if you try to explain it to somebody. I'm the only one here, so you can think inside your own head or you can think out loud. If you want the latter, I've got ears." Thomas leaned forward, placing both elbows in the counter. "I think I'll have that beer, actually." "You've got it," said Maddie. "What do you think I said to him?" said Thomas. "Are you asking me to guess?" said Maddie. "Yep," said Thomas. "I'm guessing that he's a kid who carries around a lot of painful truths," said Maddie. "I'm guessing you told him a truth that turned out to be painful." "I think you might be right," said Thomas. "I think maybe I tell the truth too often. I've got nothing against the truth in principle," said Maddie, "but not all truths have to be told. Do you suppose I ought to make up a story for him? I don't exactly understand what's going on between you two, but he obviously cares what you think of him. He wants to impress you. But I think a false compliment would sting even worse." "What do you think I should do?" said Thomas. "The kid thinks I'm a damn hero or something." "I think sometimes it's easy to give people what they want and not necessarily what you think they need. I get the impression that this would be his last chance to get that from you too." "You may be right," said Thomas. "But both the truth and lies can hurt people. They can also build people up, making them feel better. When you tell a lie, you're the one that has control. You can lie to hurt people or you can lie to help them. Sometimes you hurt people without meaning to, and no matter how it turns out, it's on you," he sighed. "The truth isn't like that. You don't get to decide what the truth is. You can only say it. And whether it hurts someone or helps someone, well, that's up to them. Sometimes we hide the truth because we think it hurts. So which is it?" Thomas shook his head. "Maybe it's neither." Maddie poured Thomas another Guinness. "Lies of omission are lies too. Sometimes concealing the truth is just as simple as saying nothing. Do you think you can hurt someone by staying silent?" Maddie set the glass down in front of Thomas. "Do you think the truth hurts more?" Thomas studied the drink in front of him. "I guess there's only one way to find out." He got up from the bar, leaving the glass of beer undisturbed as he walked upstairs. Brad's eyes were still red when he saw Thomas walking up. He tried to focus on the pool table in front of him, doing his best to ignore the old man. It worked until Thomas put a hand on Brad's shoulder. "Brad, do you know what the difference between us is?" Brad shook his head. You played for glory. I played for money. Thomas paused. You know how we're similar? Brad shook his head. Neither of us played to win. I thought you said you were in it for the money, said Brad. Yes, said Thomas. But there are lots of ways to make money playing pool. Thomas leaned against the table. I made my career on being predictable. There's a lot of money to be made if you can predict the outcome of events that seem like they're up to chance. Especially when you're the one who controls the outcome. Brad looked at Thomas with confusion. Every single year I made the finals, I was favored to win. Betting odds were in my favor. I lost every time. Do you think that I lost every one of those games because of nerves? He shook his head. I played pool for less than 10 years, but I managed to make enough money in those few short years to retire. Do the math, kid. That money didn't come from tournament earnings. Brad let out a low whistle and looked at the famous Thomas Walsh with new eyes. You're not the man I think I am. Not the man you think I am. Brad shook his head. I don't believe it. The old man turned away from him, almost like he was afraid to look Brad in the eyes as he said it. Like I said, I have no regrets. I played for money, and as it turns out, that was the right decision for me. But for you? I can't imagine anything better than playing for glory. You're still a great pool player, said Brad. No one can take that away from you. And you're a champ, said Thomas. That's something I don't have. You play from the heart. Well, maybe if I'd done the same, I'd have a title to my name as well. Thomas leaned against the table and nearly collapsed into the floor. Brad caught him. The old man huffed a bit as he shrugged to his feet. Plus, you've been drinking those fake beers all night. Maybe I ought to take a page from your playbook next time. Had enough pool for one night? Said Brad. Yep, said Thomas. As he walked down the stairs, Thomas stumbled on the bottom step and Brad caught him. Feeling okay, old man? I won't be driving home tonight, that's for sure, said Thomas. Brad chuckled and the two of them walked out of the building. On the bridge out of the terminal, Brad looked at the old man, who barely seemed able to support his own weight. There was so little left of him, and yet the man could play. You're still an ace, said Brad. You don't keep up that level of skill without a lot of practice. Thomas said nothing. You kept on playing even if you retired. You say you didn't play from the heart. Bullshit. Thomas just smiled at him through weary eyes. At the end of the bridge, Brad paused at the threshold. I guess this is the end, said Brad. I guess so, said Thomas. They exited the terminal, and moments later, only one man remained standing outside as the other dissipated from existence, gone to meet whatever awaited him after death. Thomas raised an arm. Taxi! So it turns out, that the billiard champion was the one that was dead. And the old man was still alive. Okay. Let's check the fucking mezzanine. Might be something I fucking missed. Delicate operation? Do I not have that one? The fisherman. I feel like I would have put my pointer on that. Advisory role. Delicate operation. Crucible. Ashley's journal. Billiards. Another one I missed. Delicate operation. Ashley stepped behind the counter and winced as the floor creaked under her feet. Maddie was nowhere to be seen, but Maddie did possess a remarkably sharp sense of hearing. Luckily, the cafe was empty as Ashley tiptoed to the case where Maddie kept the baked goods. Ashley lifted the glass lid off the case and closed her eyes as the sense of yesterday's lamingtons lifted up and overwhelmed her. Ashley had spent most of her life convinced that she didn't like coconuts, but that had changed the day that Shay introduced her to lamingtons. To be fair, Ashley still wasn't sure that she actually liked coconut chocolate frosting. Could make anything. Ashley wasn't sure that she actually liked coconut. Chocolate frosting could make anything taste good, but she couldn't deny the cake's irresistible allure. Ashley lifted a lamington from the case and gently set the lid back down. She raised the lamington to her lips and opened her mouth to take a bite. Ashley? In the moment of panic, Ashley shoved the pastry into her mouth and sealed her lips. Her mouth was quickly overwhelmed by the pastry's thick frosting covering, and she did her best to choke it down before turning to face Maddie. "Hmm?" said Ashley, hoping that her cheek didn't betray what was inside. "Oh good, you're here," said Maddie. It was a bad sign anytime Maddie expressed pleasure at seeing Ashley. Normally, Maddie wavered between being annoyed by Ashley's presence and being indefinitely tolerant of her. Anytime Maddie was happy to see Ashley, it meant work. "Ah!" "I need to deliver something to Shay for me," said Maddie, turning to the counter to pick up a small bottle of something. As Maddie turned her attention to the bottle, Ashley took advantage of her momentary distraction to gulp down the remainder of the pastry. No time to chew, but her teeth wouldn't have done much good with the thick frosting. "You're not busy, are you?" said Maddie. Ashley shook her head no. The pastry was no longer inside her mouth to create a conspicuous bulge of cheeks, but opening her mouth would reveal the thick chocolate frosting that was still probably present on her teeth, but she kept her lips sealed. "Good," said Maddie. "He's upstairs. Get this to him ASAP." She handed the bottle to Ashley, and Ashley found herself surprised by how light the bottle was. Looking down, she could see that the bottle had thin walls. Within those thin walls, it contained some clear liquid, and its seal was held in place with a metal clamp, hermetically sealed. Ashley turned toward the stairs, holding the bottle of the neck in one hand, and let out a sigh. One last thing. Ashley swallowed her sigh with a gulp and closed her mouth before facing Maddie, lips tightly shut. "Be careful not to drop it," said Maddie. "Thousands could die if you spill any of it." In any other situation, Ashley would have asked Maddie a probing question to figure out what was in the bottle, or get any idea of the significance of the task that had been assigned to her. Significant enough that thousands of lives held on the balance, but apparently not important enough for Maddie to do it herself. But Ashley's lips remained sealed, and she merely nodded and turned around. Lamingtons were not meant to be consumed in a single bite, especially by mouths as small as Ashley's, and the thickness of the frosting that lingered in her mouth and throat made her desperate to ask for some kind of drink, but she dared not ask for one. Ashley looked down at the bottle, unsure of the best way to carry it. The bottle was slightly too large for her to hold in just one hand, and grasping it in front of her with two hands felt awkward. The bottle wasn't heavy, but Ashley's confidence in her ability to carry the bottle without dropping it was less than perfect. Should she cradle it under her arm protectively? No, that seemed like it put her at greater risk with fumbling the bottle. The crook of her elbow wasn't as dexterous as her fingertips. She settled for carrying the bottle with one hand placed under the bottom to hold the weight, and the other hand wrapped around the neck to steady it. Ashley walked slowly with the bottle as she ascended the stairs. Maddie hadn't told her that the liquid was volatile, and the bottle was hermetically sealed, so there was zero chance of anything spilling out. But that didn't change the sense of trepidation Ashley felt. Armed with the knowledge that there were potentially thousands of lives at stake, she cringed every time she saw the liquid sloshing inside the bottle, leaping up and lapping at the edge of the seal. Ashley realized her arms were shaking and pressed the bottle against her chest, hoping to steady it. As Ashley's hand shook nervously with the bottle held against her chest, she wondered if the large amount of sugar she had just forced down her throat had something to do with the shaking. It was more likely that her shaking was a result of being told that thousands of lives could be lost if she dropped the bottle. Still, the lingering taste of the pastry in her mouth didn't help. Ashley silently lamented that she had been forced to consume the lamingtons so abruptly. Lamingtons were a treat to be savored, not shoved into one's mouth in a moment of panic. She hadn't even had the chance to properly enjoy it. It was hard to simultaneously feel the pleasure of a tasty treat and the panic of being caught. Whatever the outcome of this errand, she had wasted a wonderful pastry. Several agonizing minutes later, Ashley arrived at the top of the stairs and spotted Shay staring at a handrail. As she walked up, Shay turned to face her and she presented him with the bottle. Ashley cleared her throat of any lingering stickiness before speaking.
"Maddie said you needed this."
"Oh, good," said Shay. "I was running low." Ashley gasped with relief as Shay took the bottle from her and started taking deep labor breaths, suddenly becoming aware of how high her heart rate was. Shay popped open the seal on the bottle and then splashed some of it onto a rag. Several drops dripped onto the floor and Ashley let out a terrified squeak. "Something wrong?" said Shay.
Maddie said that thousands of lives would be destroyed by what's in that bottle."
"Well, that's the idea," said Shay, as he folded the rag and ran it along the railing that overlooked the cafe's ground level. "This is supposed to kill 99.9% of all bacteria. That still leaves hundreds of bacteria alive, but I tried to think too much about that part." Ashley's jaw dropped.
"It's disinfectant?"
"Yeah," said Shay. "Why, didn't Maddie not tell you?" Ashley's shoulders slumped in a mix of relief and exasperation.
"She only told me it could kill thousands."
And you didn't ask what she meant by that?
No, said Ashley. I was preoccupied.
Huh, said Shay. He turned his attention back to the railing, expecting it for a moment before continuing to wipe it. Ashley turned to head back downstairs. Head backstairs. By the way, Ashley? Ashley turned to face Shay. He reached out and placed a finger on her shirt, wiping off a bit of frosting. He raised it to his finger and smelled it. Chocolate? He said.
Yes, said Ashley.
One of Maddie's Lamingtons?
Yes,
said Ashley. Shay nodded and licked the frosting off his finger. Go downstairs and bring one up for me too, will you? Alrighty. That's probably still... Ah, fuck. I wanted to see what's... Something... There's one more. There's one more. Might be in the game room. Did I do the Fate of Icarus? Fisherman. Thinking about billiards. Did I seriously miss this one? This is the last one. The Fate of Icarus. I guess I thought I read it and then I didn't. Okay. Here's the last one. The first thing Shay noticed when he entered Ashley's workshop was that her workbench was not at its usual place. It had been pushed up against the wall. The second thing he noticed was that Ashley was sitting on the bench, her back slumped against the wall, evidently still feeling the effects of a caffeine crash.
Hey, said Ashley.
But her eyes didn't move up to meet his. That wasn't like Ashley. She usually greeted people with her eyes before greeting them with her voice. Hey kiddo, said Shay. You okay?
I am okay. If feeling tired and achy and yet somehow unable to rest is okay, said Ashley. My mind is still amped up, but unable to do anything productive. Why do I feel like this, Shay? Is this my life now? Am I going to be okay? Shay stepped up to Ashley's workbench and seated himself next to her. I'd tell you to relax, but it sounds like you're already trying and failing. So maybe it's okay to be amped up and also tired. It's kind of the worst, said Ashley. Too tired, but also incapable of resting. Shay smiled. Tired, but also incapable of resting, described how he felt most days. It had become such a familiar part of his condition when he forgot what it was like to be young, to have the kind of energy that Ashley always seemed to be brimming with. I think you'd have to get used to that, said Shay. I think you're getting an early taste of what being an adult is like. That's not reassuring at all, said Ashley. You feel like this every day? If you come here to comfort me, you're doing a terrible job.
Shay frowned. He always considered himself a good teacher, but he'd come to learn that mentoring someone required skills beyond simply teaching them a skill. When it came to comforting people, in times of crisis, he always seemed to manage to find the right words. On day-to-day matters, however... Well, said Shay, I think I spend a lot of days feeling how you feel right now, but luckily this will pass for you. And look at it this way. You've learned something today, didn't you?
Yes, said Ashley. Maddie is in possession of powerful potions that can yield devastating effects, and she disguises them under innocent-sounding names like espresso.
Shay nodded, more a nod prompting her to continue than to display approval, but also, you have a terrible bedside manner. Well, but you weren't forced to drink the coffee, were you?
No, I did that to myself, said Ashley. Is that what you wanted me to say? You were right, Shay. I tried something new for the first time, and now I get to spend the rest of my life regretting it.
Try a few hours, said Shay. I'm pretty sure the regret will wear off as soon as you recover from this caffeine crash. After that, hopefully it'll be codified in a part of your brain. It'll be codified in a part of your brain that hesitates just for a little bit when you're tempted to ask for a third or fourth espresso shot. Ashley continued looking straight ahead.
Point remains, trying new things can be hazardous to your health. Actions have consequences, and the consequences can be real bad.
She opened her mouth and made a noise that was halfway between a gasp and a yawn, like someone who had too much carbon dioxide in their bloodstream and didn't know how to correct the problem without making a face that resembled a fish. Thanks for the lesson, Shay.
I'm never going to try ingesting anything new ever again.
Shay frowned again and tried his best to course correct back to something that resembled a useful lesson. That's nice and all, but I don't think that avoiding new and novel drinks is going to protect you from ever encountering harm again.
Right, which is why I'm not limiting it to drinks. No new foods.
Is that Ashley?
No new foods. I've got a decent enough palate anyway. I think I'm good sticking to the same dozen or so meals for the rest of my life.
Shay looked at Ashley and hesitated for a moment. He wasn't sure what words of wisdom he could impart to the girl, but he was pretty sure that words were the only way to get someone out of a slump. Ashley, stand up. He stood up himself, for fear of looking unwilling to follow his own advice. Why? Said Ashley. Because you can.
I can't, said Ashley.
Well, the more reason to stand up, said Shay. You can stand up to prove that you can. You should stand up to prove that you can. And if you can't, well, that's good to know too. Ashley groaned and twisted so that she wasn't lying down on the workbench. Shay was about to object, but when she started rolling off the work shaft and plopped onto the floor.
Ouch.
Shay watched Ashley, not reaching down to offer her a hand. If she was capable of saying ouch, she was capable of asking for help if she needed it. Several painful moments later, Ashley lifted herself off the floor and shuffled backward until she was leaning against the wall next to her workbench. See? You thought you couldn't stand, but you can.
Hooray for me, I'm overjoyed.
He said in a tone that was clearly far from overjoyed. You can sit down if you'd like to, said Shay, sensing that standing was actually a non-trivial feat for Ashley at this moment. She hopped back into the workbench, but this time sat perched on the edge with her legs hanging over the edge, rather than slumped back with her back against the wall, like she had been when he first walked in. I'm yelling so much. That was a good sign. I don't want one bad experience to kill your sense of adventure, said Shay.
Look at where my sense of adventure has gotten me, Shay. I flew too close to the sun, and now that I'm on the surface of the sun, the lights are all bright, and I feel hot and tingly all over, and I feel tired like it's summer all the time, and I really don't like it. I'm just like Icarus.
That's not how the story of Icarus goes, though, said Shay.
Isn't it?
Icarus didn't fly to the sun, said Shay. His journey was limited to our atmosphere. He got too close to the sun, and his wings melted. Ashley raised an eyebrow.
Oh, is that what happened? Now the part at the beginning of the story where the dad...
Excuse me. Whoop. Oh no.
Now the part at the beginning of the story where his dad tells him not to fly too close to the sun or his wings will melt makes a lot more sense. Classic foreshadowing.
You're forgetting a part of the story though, said Shay. Icarus's father told him not to fly too high, or the sun would melt his wings. But he also said not to fly too low when crossing the sea, or his wings would get wet, and he would sink and drown. So Icarus flying high was actually brilliant. His wings melted, but he managed to avoid drowning. Ashley's voice was still monotone, but she was leaning forward. Well, no. He still drowned because after his wings melted, he crashed into the sea. Ashley gave a nod of acknowledgement.
Same result. So the moral of the story is that you're doomed no matter what you do?
No, said Shay. He drowned, but before he drowned, he soared.
Story still ends with him drowning, said Ashley.
Every story ends with death in some way, Ashley. The question whether isn't you will die or not. The question is, before you die, will you take the opportunity to see just how high you can fly? Okay. Alright, that's it. That should be all of them now. Yep. Alright. We've read them all. That's it. Yay, we got them all. I don't know if that does anything. I doubt it. My babies. Maddie's not here anymore, because you're kind of like on play any part of the story now. You can't walk towards the end here. Yep. I'm still mad that that was the thing. This here. Yep. Wow. Okay. Well. you will return to the title. And then posture check. Thank you. And then I think that is it for today. A little bit, about 3 hours. Not that bad. I will say I did enjoy the game. Or the story. It fell flat in some aspects, but I don't think it was bad. Next week, I don't know what we'll be getting into. We've got some other games that we can get into. We can go back to Subterra Core. I can start doubling up Persona. I know that Saturday we'll be getting back into Persona. Actually, no. Saturday is New Year's. One Secaroni. Let me look at my calendar really quick. No. So Saturday is New Year's Day. Now that I think about it, I wanted to kind of do something on New Year's Eve. I might make a little Google form for it. I'm not sure. What I want to kind of do, and anyone who's still here can pipe in if what they think of this idea. I kind of want to have a just chatting stream, kind of like how we had like a comfy Christmas stream. I kind of want to have a comfy New Year's Eve stream where we just kind of sit and chill like we did, but I want to watch like old nostalgic YouTube videos, kind of looking back. And what I want to do is maybe have people submit video clips, maybe via a Google form or suggestions or something. I don't know, but I think it would be fun. It's just a recent idea I kind of cracked into my head, but well, we'll see how that goes. There are some videos I was thinking of that I was just like, man, I wonder if those videos are still on YouTube, because I've been on the internet for a very, very long time. So there are some videos where it's just like, man, I remember when YouTube was this, you know? So kind of taking a minute to really go back in time and look at that. But I'll think about it. Until then, though, I hope that everyone had a good little Monday stream. Later on, we should be having Zelda, so look forward to that. Then Wednesday, we will have Avatar maybe. We have DMS on Thursday. And then, yeah, we have New Year's Eve and then New Year's Day. And then we'll go into 2022. So, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. I will see you on the later streams. And we'll take it from there. Bye-bye, everybody.